Alright guys, so we're continuing with our Azure Active Directory. So here, alright, so I'm just putting all that, arranging all that. Now let us keep continuing unlimited access. Sorry, this is 221. Okay. So yeah, this is just the advertisement, obviously, and next time I'll just put some neon sign here. It will just keep on moving. So here, once we go to Azure Active Directory, then we need to go to Azure Active Directory. I'm there on Portal menu here, or we can just click from Azure Services here, the Azure Active Directory. If I click here, then I'm inside Azure Active Directory, or you can go from here. So the thing is that we had talked about some of the features there. Some of you may be still preparing for AWS, and maybe few have done it, and you may be going for AZ 104. So try to start reading those questions, sample questions as well, and do exam prep. And if you have any exam prep resources, then you can share with us as well. There are many other groups that are sharing a lot of exam prep resources. Okay, so once we go down here, there's that enterprise applications we talked about. Then in enterprise applications, yes, we went there and talked about all this. It also has a conditional access. Application proxy was that you can connect on-premises application to cloud applications as well. We talked about that too. And then the consent and permissions, so it referred to the last video for that. And I'm just going to go back to this Azure Active Directory, and there's that devices here, and this once so under the enterprise applications inside Azure Active Directory is this devices, right? So if we go inside, so it does not show any devices, obviously, and this is just if the devices are registered there to Azure. In fact, if any one of you can see that, guys, last time we downloaded Azure Active Directory, and then I asked you to just log in from that as well. So maybe, hopefully, you are all logged in still, or maybe you logged out from it. If I just see on my cell phone here, I'm looking at, there's a application called Azure that I downloaded. So inside, I think I was logged in, and maybe you guys are also logged in to that Azure application there, right? So if you're logged in, then oh, how likely would you recommend? Okay, extremely likely. Okay, send. Reason, forget the reason. Thank you for feedback. Dismiss. So I'm logged into my Azure Active Directory with the account. I'm just trying to confirm that which account. It's the same account. So I'm now logged in to that. In fact, I'll go to virtual machine section, failed to load, please pull down to refresh. Okay, there's nothing there actually. So let us fired alerts will show here, and subscriptions. If I go resources, I didn't create any notifications, so I'm just reading out of my application in cell phone that is called Azure. And so it is okay. You guys are also logged in, but you don't see that the device is showing there automatically. And I'll learn more about activity timestamp and how to use it to manage stale devices in your Azure Active Directory. And then there is download devices preview here as well. So if I just click this learn more here, so it says here that ideally to complete the lifecycle, registered devices should be unregistered when they are not needed anymore. However, due to, for example, lost, stolen, broken devices or OS reinstallations, you typically have stale devices in your environment. So it's talking about if you do see a device and it's stale or it's not showing anything, then try to just remove those devices and then add them again or register them again. Detect stale devices. How is the value of the activity timestamp? So this is for those where you have registered the devices, maybe with the help of Intune or Endpoint Manager, and you have those registered devices there, then you can just, so you have two options to retrieve the value of the activity task. So this is just showing that page where if you have registered devices showing there, registered in Azure devices showing there, and then how to make stale devices in Azure AD. So this is just about if the devices are there and if they are stale, then what do you do, right? So but manage device identities, and then there is Azure AD Join, admit, plan your hybrid AD Join, or assign local admins to Azure AD Join devices. Mhm. Oh, I thought that somebody said something. So this is Azure AD device deployment, plan your AD join. We talked about that before, that with your MDM solutions or mobile device management solutions, you can just register a device and then it will start showing there. Oh, wow, students are still coming. Okay, so this is something that obviously when you do register the devices, then you can just go through all. But how does it look like when it is your devices are registered here? So it would just show that which registered device is there and which is performing or which is not performing. So if I just go back here, first of all, let me just get rid of this. So there's that Bitlocker keys, there's device settings there as well. If you have registered your devices and they're showing here, then obviously you would just go ahead and try to see the other options there, which are not much. So device settings, users may join devices to Azure AD, and yes, all is written there, and select the users and groups that are allowed to join devices to Azure AD, and you can just select the members, or all are allowed to join the devices to Azure AD. And then and this is again with MDM or mobile device management solution that you have, Intune, Microsoft Intune, or Endpoint Manager. If those kind of solutions you have and you register your devices, then they show up here, and then you can just put restrictions there, right? Users may register their devices with Azure AD. Well, so this is just a permission. Do you allow all users to get permission to join their devices to AD, and require multi-factor authentication to join devices? So you can just make it a bit more secure, that whoever joins their device or registers their device to the Azure AD should have multi-factor authentication also open. So it's on no by default, but in the production environment in companies, you should yes, click yes here for that matter. Maximum number of devices per user. One user can keep how many devices? So it is 50 by default, but otherwise you can go for 5, 10, 20. So one user can register, or with the name of one user, how many devices can be registered. So it's just by default 50. So this is just basic setting. Then there is Bitlocker keys here, and Bitlocker, as we already have. So Bitlocker normally, there are two file ways you can encrypt in Microsoft, and that is, one is EFS encryption file system, and the other is Bitlocker. So Bitlocker normally is for the whole drive that you can encrypt. So whatever device you have, its storage you want to encrypt, then you can use a Bitlocker key ID for that. If you somehow lost the key and you really need the data, losing the key is not that easy because the keys are with Azure. But overall, when you don't have a recovery key and you cannot decrypt the data, then it's sometimes it's permanently lost as well. So this is Bitlocker keys for the registered devices that will be seen. If they're seen in this area, you can also encrypt them. So this is that functionality there. And so it says, how do you register a device with the Intune portal? Or yes, Intune portal. It is in Intune is for that exact purpose. Anyone has used Intune or worked on it, and Normally in SCCM course, I also showed how to configure devices in Intune. Normally, I just went for Intune functionality and explore options there. But if it's an iPhone device, you have to get the certificate from Apple. If it's Android device, you got a certificate from Google, right? Okay, so you use SOTI. Okay, SOTI in our language is that stick with the headmasters masters in when I was a kid, they used to beat us with that. Okay, so but SOTI, yeah, it was a stick. Yeah, SOTI in yeah, Punjabi language, I think. So okay. So but you've used SOTI, and this is MDM, right? MDM. SOTI Mobi Control MDM solution. Okay, free 30-day trial. So guys, you should be playing with that just to get some hang of it. So it's mobile device management. SOTI Mobi Control is the easy, efficient, and effective MDM solution. There are many third-party solutions, so that's very good that Shintan has shared with us that there's this company as well, and you're using that regularly. So that's really good. And obviously, they have all the third-party. Wow, they have a lot of features. Nice. I think it's expensive solution then. Okay. So that's good. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. So there's this as well. But it has a 30-day trial. So normally what happens is if there are job announcements that are saying, hey, if you have experience with any MDM, you can just do a trial on this and also Intune. And you can just, Microsoft Intune. So I have done that when I was teaching SCCM course. So at that time, I also tried to put some Intune related stuff there as well. Zaki says Intune is easy to use compared to SOTI and Mobile Iron. Oh, okay. So there's another one, guys. Mobile Iron. So remote device management here, mobile device management, and Microsoft Intune. So this is uh, talking about Microsoft Intune. Switch to Canada, and this is a site for that. So for mobile device management, it just talks about Intune. I think some of you have used Intune as well, right? And it's from Microsoft, so a lot of learning edges not there if you have used all the other Microsoft products there. But my suggestion would be that at least go through the trial version of Intune and try to check out, explore some features, and try to get one cell phone connected there and manage it. So you could just put it in your resume as well that yes, I know some of Intune as well. Okay, that's one of the 21 courses where SCCM and Intune I've also worked on. Ha, man, you can't quit advertising, seriously. Okay, so let's go ahead, guys. We were talking about MDM. If you have selected that, now this MDM, obviously, if suppose you go for the MDM solution like SOTI or Mobile Iron or Intune. Well, Intune would be obviously integrated with Azure. It's a Microsoft product, but others obviously should be integrated with Intune. Chintan, is SOTI? Are you using Azure in your environment, and is SOTI used there as well? Is it integrated?
No, we don't have a Azure, just only SOTI.
Okay.
That's third party we are using. We don't have Intune as well.
Okay. So
Only
that's
SOTI.
Thank you for sharing that. And it seems like an expensive solution, definitely.
Yeah, it is expensive. Yeah, so there's Zaki said like it is hard, like Intune is easier. So I don't know much about Intune right now. So
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go to that.
You're used to it, so obviously it will be easy for you.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully. Yeah.
so that's good. That's good. So, all right, guys. So let's go ahead and we were talking about this now. Obviously, in Office 365, we were able to go for some of it, and here it's just that you have to have integration with Intune or some other third-party MDM to get the device showing here. Now, if we so there's then once the device is there, you can just do a BitLocker on that, which is full device encryption. and some device settings are there. Just, do you want to allow all the users to have this or not? So other than that, this is very simple. This is not MDM at all. I mean, like, if MDM, so mobile device management solution, has registered your device to Azure, then you can come here and do anything. So it's not, it's just giving you very basic configurations there. So if we go for diagnose and solve problems, so obviously any troubleshooting, this all area activity audit logs, bulk operation results, you will see in many of those solutions as well. So we can explore what is specific to this section here, right? Okay, guys, so if we go back here, not much here, and if we go down to devices, so obviously this is where we went. Where, yeah, devices. And can we manage PDA device like RF devices with Intune? Well, so PDA device with RF, like RF. Okay, so that would be an example of that device, Chintan. RF guns. Okay, so
Yeah, Motorola RF guns and those, like, the scanner, RF scanner.
Yeah, so that was very scary name, but yes. Intune is, no, we have to check that if anyone has a deep Intune solution, but I didn't see other than the regular mainstream devices. I think Intune is advanced enough to go for any of the devices. Your solution MDM that you're using, it does detect that?
Yeah, mostly we are using, like, mostly manage RF guns and more phones. Only those two stuff we
Wow.
are doing. So
Okay.
we push the configuration and package built on that and push it to all RF guns, like all over.
Nice.
So,
I think Intune should be able to do that, but yes, I'm not sure about that. But thank you for sharing that info. Okay, so guys, here we talked about devices. Then we go down to app registrations here. So app registrations is if you have an app. So first you see that enterprise applications is there, and then enterprise application is there. Okay, so Amir says it is. What about enterprise state roaming? Enterprise state roaming. I think it's in enterprise applications, right? So Ahmed on WhatsApp mentioned this. Am I missing something? So I'm just looking at WhatsApp. So Bitlocker Keys. Okay, so if I go back to devices and then go to Bitlocker Keys here, and it Bitlocker Keys. Is that what you're asking, Ahmed? So because you gave a picture of this, but Bitlocker Keys is preview.
No, actually, you don't have. Yeah, I cannot. Like, I can see enterprise state roaming option as well, but I cannot see in your side.
Okay.
It's under the device settings, like in between device settings and BitLocker key.
Oh, okay. It's outside. I mean, oh, okay, inside, but between those options. Hey, that's strange. Is it on preview or enterprise state roaming? There's no preview written in front of you, right? For that.
No preview, it's just enterprise state roaming. No preview.
Okay. But yeah, you guys are seeing that and I'm not seeing that. Hey, that's not fair. I think I'm on pay as you go, and if I had created a new account, totally new account, so newer features are there with newer accounts. This is 4 years old, and maybe I have to upgrade further. Oh yes, serious. Okay. I understood what is wrong here. I was using my portal.office.com for newer Azure Active Directory with everything working. So that was admin at. Oh yeah, let me just go to that one as well, because here the premium 2 Active Directory is not there, but in the other account I have premium 2 Active Directory. Let me just quickly go here. Serious? Okay, fresh. And portal.office.com again. Oh, now it's asking. Admin at Cloud Engineers Academy. Okay, good. Inside, next. Go. And no, I'm not going for admin in Office 365. Then again it's asking, and don't keep me logged in, I think, again. Yeah, or my like MFA. Oh wow, it's just asking again and again. It can't believe I'm trying to log in. And there you go. So I'll just go to show all here for Office 365 and then Azure Active Directory of that, which is the same, exact same product that we're seeing here. And again it's asking, it can't believe it's me trying to log in. And again it's asking, hey, you sure you don't want MFA? Okay, so guys, this is kind of messy. Yeah, finally. Oh, okay, I'm in. Tears of joy here. I'm just crying that I'm in now. I'm just happy and crying. So if I go Azure Active Directory, well, Chintan has already shared enterprise state roaming, but I just wanted to see if it exists with me now. Ah, this one. Oh man. So newer Azure Active Directory, actually it's the Premium 2 that we have here, and this is users may sync settings and app data across devices. Although Chintan has, thank you Chintan for sharing that documentation here as well. What is enterprise state roaming? Windows 10 Azure Active Directory users gain the ability to securely synchronize their user settings and application settings data to the cloud. So enterprise state roaming provides users with unified experience across their Windows devices and reduces the time needed for configuring a new device. So enterprise state roaming operates similar to the standard consumer settings sync that was first introduced with Windows 8. Additionally, enterprise state roaming offers separation of corporate and consumer data. Okay, so what we understand from there is that suppose you have logged in from a tablet, from a cell phone, from a laptop. So in all those areas, whatever changes you've made, oops, okay, let me just mute all. So all the changes you have made in a cell phone, those will be synchronized with the changes. Suppose now you log in from tablet, and it all the changes you made there in Azure in cell phone would be also seen there in tablet and would also be seen there in laptop. So that is enterprise, same roaming profile in Windows. Okay, Mohammed says. Yes, exactly. So in Active Directory, as you also said, so exactly this is the concept there. Whatever devices you log in to your Azure Active Directory, the synchronization is available, and whatever changes you just made now should be there in the other device as well and synced, right? So this is enterprise state roaming here, and information about that. So I'm just gonna put that here in there. Okay, so if we go back to our solution, so this is the newer Active Directory. Sorry, this is the older. This is the newer. So on my left side is my Azure IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service. On my right side is the Azure SaaS, or Software as a Service, or Office 365 Azure Active Directory. So that one is newer because I've upgraded to Premium 2. So many of you might have 1 week left, or maybe 1 week or 2 weeks left, maybe, I don't know. I think 1 week, no, 2 weeks. So after that you need to all switch to pay as you go, but your Premium 2 will still be there. But before that, obviously we will be done with Azure Active Directory, so we would not need Premium 2 to be there for that. So I'm just going to go inside Azure Active Directory and go to devices. We talked about that as well, and enterprise state roaming is not in my, because it's not Premium 2 upgraded in my Azure cloud. So if you go back here, guys, so there is app registrations, and this is related to enterprise applications. Welcome to the new and improved app registrations, now generally available. See what's new and learn more. But there is, starting June 30, 2020, we will no longer add new features to Azure Active Directory Authentication Library, ADAL, and Azure AD Graph. We will continue to provide technical support and security updates, but we will no longer provide feature updates. So it just says that first of all, what is this area? And new registration, what is endpoints? So this account isn't listed as an owner of any application in the registry. So first of all, did you purchase any application? Right? So if you go to enterprise applications there or here, so we did add something, but we don't have licenses for those applications. In fact, I think we added one application last time. It was, Oh, I don't see that here. Okay, I think I added that on the other Active Directory. So I'm just gonna go for new application quickly here, and just randomly select Adobe Acrobat. I think we selected, yeah, Adobe PDF. So in the Azure Cloud IaaS, I did that. I think in Office 365 Azure Active Directory, which is with Premium 2, I did not do that. So I'm just gonna click that. We know that we did not purchase any licenses for Adobe Acrobat. I'm just clicking add here, which will just kind of add a link here. Without any licenses, it's of no use. We then explored all the options. We explored especially conditional access. Remember that? So I just added one sample application from enterprise applications 3588, I think, more. So I'm just gonna add that. I'll go back here. Now I'll refresh here, and I should have Adobe Acrobat here, right? Okay. So here, yeah, Adobe Acrobat is there, and if I go to my application registration here, so normally what we are supposed to see is that if you have registered an application, especially if you purchase the licenses there, so the application should be showing here. If you have done all the connectivity of the application, but I'm gonna go for new registration here, and here the user facing display name for this application, this can be changed later, and then there is accounts in this organizational directory only. Who can use this application or access this API or application programming interface. So basically you can just say that, suppose it's Adobe Acrobat Adobe Reader, okay, or just Adobe. Actually it was just Adobe. Some people say Adobe, or I say just Adobe. So support account. So who can use this application or access this API? So accounts in this organization, or accounts in any organizational directory, any Azure AD directory, or accounts in any organizational directory, and personal Microsoft accounts like Skype, Xbox, personal Microsoft. So well, this is our cloud. In my case, this is Cloud Now domain. So all the user accounts can use this application. So I'm registering this application to Azure and telling Azure that, hey, after that you can let all my users use this application, although we haven't purchased any licenses for that. That would be, suppose you have 400 users, so 400 separate licenses you should purchase there. And then there's a redirect URI will return the authentication response to this URI after successfully authenticating the user, providing this now is optional, and it can be changed later. So they're just saying that by processing you agree to the Microsoft platform policy. So if I click register here, so it says create application here, and Adobe Reader is the name. So we basically registered an application, or asked the Azure platform, hey Azure platform, please, after registration, this application is supposed to be used by our users, so let our users connect and use this application. If you have an API connected from outside, which is application programming interface, so you can connect from outside to this application. If it's registered, yes, Azure will let you or your users or developers connect to this application. Can we modify it later or for multi-tenant, or need to register from scratch? For this tenant we have registered it, and it is specifically asking that for this tenant we have to register. So obviously when you add another application, or you want to change the tenant for this, so you have to register it again. Better remove it and then add it again for the other tenant. You have to log in from the other tenant, just like switch tenant, and then come back here and then register it for that tenant. It is specifically asking for this tenant. Now see this, I was on owned applications here. I think it was by default on owned applications first, or all applications. So because that application that I added is already added here as well, right? So I just added myself and another way or new registration here. So if it is added already here, this means that we don't have to add it ourselves. I was not seeing it here, then I went for, and also to explore some options there for how the new registration, what options does it provide. Otherwise, suppose let me just quickly show you one more application example here. What I'm trying to say here is, if you have added an application, enterprise applications section here, then in app registrations, it should appear there automatically, as it did after some time, and I thought it was not gonna appear. So let me just, so if I go back to enterprise application once more, just to add one more application, just to see if it's going to be automatically appearing in that app registration as well, which means as soon as you add an application here in enterprise applications, Azure registers it as well, which means that, hey, yes, I allow your users to use this application from now on. Azure does that automatically, which I just showed you manually. So I'm just going to go for one new application here just to give another example. And anyone here, suppose it's Cisco AnyConnect. Anyone used Cisco AnyConnect? Okay, here, and I'll click add. So it's added here, right? Is it just added, or was it in the application register, or is it gonna show up in that other section, application registration as well? So I'm just gonna try to check that. I don't have to really add this manually, or I never had to do that before since it was not appearing for some time. So I just went for manual. So I refreshed it, and there's the Cisco AnyConnect in the enterprise applications area, right? So if I want to just simply go back and check, is it automatically appearing in app registrations or not? It should, but own applications and all applications. So yes, Cisco AnyConnect is here, and it is in app registrations, which means if I click go inside, so whatever application you've added, then it just shows you that you can go for branding. So Cisco AnyConnect is from Cisco, right? But you want to put your company label there, obviously, that this is the Cisco AnyConnect purchased by your company. And so you can just go for branding here, and upload a new logo here for Cisco AnyConnect that you're using, authentication system. So obviously, did you purchase a license for Cisco AnyConnect? Depending on the platform or device this application is targeting, additional configuration may be required, such as redirect URIs, specific authentication settings, or field specific to the platform. So did you purchase the license for that? If you did, then you can just give the URI, and the users will be using Cisco AnyConnect from, or Azure users will be using Cisco AnyConnect if Cisco AnyConnect is registered in Azure, right? So certificates and secrets. So this means that you can just upload certificate. You can purchase a certificate from CA, and then so basically you have registered Cisco AnyConnect to Azure. After that, you can just customize it. That application for which you have purchased the licenses, you can customize its so what certificates you have purchased from CA for this Cisco AnyConnect, what authentication method you're allowing from Cisco AnyConnect users or from Azure users. They both can connect to it, and you can just upload your logo and branding here as well. So once you register, you get more customization options for that enterprise application there, right? So that's the main idea behind that. Okay, so here token configuration and optional claims are used to configure additional information which is returned in one or more tokens. Add optional claims. So what is claim and what are tokens here? Normally this is an idea that you can get from 70-742 course, which is also available in among 21 courses. Seriously, why am I advertising everything? Okay, so yeah, the thing is that 742 course, we talk about ADFS, Active Directory Federation Services, and it uses a unique authentication method called claims authentication. And claim authentication, suppose you have a branch here, and this is on-prem, right? On-prem. And you have this Azure cloud here, right? So Azure cloud, users need to connect to that, some resource here, some virtual machines here, or some storage account here, or network here. So if you have an ADFS here, I'm just explaining what is a claim and what is token, right? So if you have Active Directory Federation Services here, so what happens is that this offers single sign-on, right? So single sign Wow. On. Okay. Single sign-on, right? So what happens here is that when you your users are using their username and password. So once they use that, suppose you gave a URL of this virtual machine here, URL of this virtual machine, right? So they put that, they click that URL, and because they logged in from their username password, or the URL asks, hey, who are you, and they put their local username password of Active Directory. So this will go to ADFS, and ADFS will say, oh, you want to connect to this URL here and some resource here, whatever resource is there. Okay, let me create a claim for you now, users. So I'm gonna create a claim. What is claim created by ADFS? Claim is that who are you? So okay, it's user Jack, and which domain do you belong to? So the domain name here, and are you, what email you have? So claim normally contains information about the user and its network, and some security information that this user genuinely belongs to that Active Directory. And ADFS creates a claim which and your manager. Suppose there are some rules in the claim as well, that hey, you must have this information, this information, this information, that information. And then if it is in the claim, so claim is just a document of a user, information about user and some security information, that suppose the GUID, globally unique identifier, right, and SID, security identifier, that it belongs to this particular Active Directory domain. So the claim is packaged inside a token. Token, you can say the outer very secure layer, and then token is sent by ADFS to Azure. Azure is ADFS compatible, so it just simply checks, opens the token, reads the claim, and then sends that information back. Hey, ADFS, this came from you. Can you just confirm that user Jack has name is there? What is the domain for that? Email, manage, security. So ADFS says, yes, I just sent that, and let me just double check. And it checks from Active, hey, Active Directory, this is our user. Active says, GUID is the same, SID is the same. Yeah, okay, this is our user. It sends back the information. ADFS sends back, yes, this is our user. I have double checked for you. Can you let my user just use your resource now? This is all happening in seconds, right? Zoom, 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 done, right? But the claim is an information about a user. Users, so you can say it that way. User is claiming to be Jack. User is claiming to have domain and email, and his manager name is this, and security is this. So is this claim correct? Is it true? So it cross checks that, and then it lets your user connect to the resource. So this is the whole story about ADFS and claim. But what is a claim? Information about user and some security information, and it double checks that on the destination as well, and then the user is let in or connected to the resource. So that's the topic I talked in detail in 70-742 of MCSA 2016. You should be going through all the MCSA topics there, because that's all topics really are crucial for your cloud knowledge as well. Okay, so I'm just okay, yeah. So if that is done, I'll just take a screenshot of that and put it here. Okay. Yeah. So it's just saying here, once we do understand that what is claim. Okay, so Chintan says, is it similar to token we are using for VPN connection, soft and hard token, which verify and approve identity and allow? Exactly. So concept is same exactly. Claim just means that user doesn't have to put passwords 2 times, or separate passwords are there. So user just uses their local username password, and that's all, and it connects directly there to the outside the company resource. Isman says, is ADFS compatible to any cloud provider? Oh yes, or only specific one. So all cloud providers know that Microsoft infrastructure is in majority of the companies, and those companies are connecting to AWS cloud. They're connecting to Azure and Google Cloud and Oracle Cloud, right? So Microsoft definitely supports ADFS, but others also support ADFS configurations. AWS supports that, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud. I don't know about Oracle Cloud, but they better if they want to support Microsoft-based companies. So I think all cloud must support ADFS, but for the main three, we are sure about it. So this is token configuration, and we understand some of the concept of claims and token there. So they're just saying that, hey, you have some kind of claim configuration, you have an ADFS down there, you want to connect that ADFS to us, okay. So this is that area. And then there's API permissions, application programming interface, configured permissions. So applications are authorized to call APIs when they are granted permissions by users admins as part of the consent process. Consent process means that do the user allow or user admins we get the permission from them to use their accounts to let the application be connected to resources. So does their account have that kind of permissions and consent can be given. The list of configured permissions should include all the permissions the application needs. So what is it saying here? If you have any API here, application programming interface, or suppose you have a branch here and you have some kind of so Toronto branch is here and you have some kind of application here, so that application wants to connect to your Azure cloud and some application here, in fact Azure cloud, right? So if you want to connect to that, so that application can use another small utility or applet that can connect to this Azure, suppose storage or Azure VMs or storage, or actually any other big application there, right? Azure Functions or any automation service there. So any service you want to connect, so it uses a small utility or app as well, or we can say API, application programming interface. So some kind of tool is used for the application to make connection with any service in Azure. So it's just saying that you can configure permission there, which user accounts have permissions, which admins have permissions, or their accounts have permission to let an outside application use another utility or small app to connect to any of the services in Azure. So this is pretty much a permission that, hey, you want to connect any other service there or not. So lots of stuff for programmers as well. Obviously, developers and programmers. It's their all the new job announcements that I'm seeing again and again, and I'm sending those all job announcements there in Cloud Engineers Academy WhatsApp group. That is also a job group, and also in that job group separate. So if you're not added there, I will add you if you want. So there, when you're seeing the new jobs for cloud, they are saying Python. You should know Python or PowerShell or Visual Studio, Python, PowerShell. So my suggestion would be at least try to go for Python language up to the level where you can modify there's Python created scripts. Even if you don't know how to create, at least go up to the level of modifying the scripts, right? So that would be very, very useful. Okay, so this is just application, but if I click the add a permission here, I'm just going to click that add a permission here. So it then goes for Microsoft Take Advantage. So first of all, select an API or what kind of application programming interface that you want, through which application you want to connect any services from outside to inside or inside. You can see that Intune is their Office 365 managed APIs, Flow Service, Dynamics. So these are not third party, but Microsoft separate products there that you can connect and get users permissions there. OneNote, Speech, many of the applications are part of this. Exchange is in Office 365, right? Azure. So these are some of the applications, and you through this you can connect outside applications. Suppose you have purchased Microsoft Dynamics separate license, and you want to connect to Azure. So Microsoft Dynamics can connect to this API or small utility or tool that is kind of a bridge to connect to any of the resource in Azure. here as well. But again, it's a programmer's heaven. My suggestion again and again is just Google Python for beginners, right? And then start with any of the, or you go to udemy.com or any other sites out there that teach Python from the beginning, but it's kind of urgent. I mean, we need to be competitive in the market, right? So I wish I was, at least teaching you up to the, modifying level, if not the creator level, the Python language as well. Okay, okay, so it's expose an API. Now again, that is if you have any, normally programmers just create APIs and they connect any of the other big applications to the Azure resource. So this is again that now we are still in the register applications, and inside there we're just exploring options here. Owners, who are the owners here? Who do you give full permission to do all this? Obviously we'll give a developer a full permission to do all that, to make any on-premises application or outside in the cloud application connect to Azure. Roles and administrators. So then there are some roles: application administrator role or cloud application. So the roles that are concerned with the application are only added here, and you can add anyone here. And then comes down with the manifest. So you can, manifest normally is a file that has your application's configurations. You will see that word manifest in wherever you are about to use some already configured document that tells you the details. Hey, first deploy this, then deploy that, then put up some security, then deploy this, and after that deploy this final step. So manifest is just giving you all the steps from start to
Can I ask Amir, please?
Yeah.
For the permission, just if I'm thinking about API application interface permissions. So if just you limit access for some user, and this user at the same time have been added to role an administrator permission here. Let's say it's added to application administrator. Is conflict can occur here in this issue? And another question: how to know in Active Directory you can know which user added to which group and which user have which permission. In Azure, can I know which user added to which group, which user has which permission? Or just I'm thinking, I'm curious if.
That's very good questions. And the first one would be that if there's a conflict. So normally Microsoft across all their products, they go for most restrictive gets precedence. So if it's most restrictive and then there's less restrictive, so most restrictive is implemented in when it comes to Microsoft products. Across those products, it's the same rule. And second thing is that if we want to know which users are part of which groups, so if I go to users directly, I think I now have two Active Directories. There's one Office 65 and there's a Azure Cloud. So if I go to Azure Cloud Active Directory and just go to the users in Active Azure, so in that I have a lot of users here. And if I go inside any of the users, so their group membership will be exposed from here if they are a member of any groups. But that's how we can know from the graphical user interface. Otherwise there are many PowerShell commandlets. So Azure PowerShell, where you can go for how to know which user is a member of which group. So that would just so get user AD user membership. There you go. So this would just show exactly, and I would love to go for examples and then simply just go for but it's in Azure that I want. So if I click that, so get Azure AD user membership, and it should, so examples would be this simple: get Azure AD user membership and object ID. So object ID would be the object ID of the user itself, and it would then give you a very user-friendly response here. So this is, I think, sales group, and I think this is marketing group. I have a chip inside me that really detects very fast which group it is, right? So now I know that this is administration group here, right? So the thing is that it can give that example, but this is really strange that why is it giving? It is object ID, I understand that, but the name should be there in object type or any other column here, right? Okay, so oh yes, PowerShell can help, and we're going to be doing a lot of PowerShelling as well. PowerShelling. So well, especially for virtual machines, we have some PowerShell scripts ready, and here also I'm just going to put that command there. But if you just I don't want to say that, but Google it.
But we can get this information in GUI as well, right? Like,
Oh yes.
that's
Well,
possible.
that's what I showed first. So I went to user, and this is which admin user, and I went to the groups. So in GUI, this is the way. Then there's PowerShell, and again, I would just request that either you start learning from today after right of the class Python, or learn PowerShell. But that's something that you cannot avoid. Go for PowerShell at least to the script changing level, if not creator, or Python. But this is crucial. This is critical, right? All the job environments, everything else is good. At the end, they say you should be a scripter in Python or PowerShell, and there you go. Ah, man, seriously, everything else fits. So that's where, yeah, Eddie says PowerShell is most required for Microsoft and Azure. Yes, and Python also covers Azure as well, and then Python covers AWS, Google Cloud. So it's same language with pretty much all cloud and automation as well, even Terraform. So definitely PowerShell and Python would be something that after seeing the latest job announcements, I would try to make sure that I will at least try to make available those courses for you wherever they are freely available, and some step by step. So you should be going for PowerShell and Python. All right, guys. So oh yeah, so it's not two recording because it will be same recording. What you will get is just a continuation. I just started now and wherever I stopped. So from there, it's gonna continue. In video, it will show continuous, but I have two files for that. So when I render, it will just make one video out of that. Okay, so here, let us go ahead and guys, what I would request is that if you can really launch a campaign, let's learn PowerShell, let's learn Python, and share resources with each other in the group here or in Cloud Engineers Academy group. You're right there where I'm sharing jobs, but please try to read all the new job requirements there. One of the sections are PowerShell or Python. Let's make it PowerShell and Python. I know it's too much to learn, but this is something really critical for you, and we need to launch a campaign on that. I'll try to gather up a lot of resources, and I'll tell you, hey, these are the step-by-step processes for PowerShell, and this is for Python. Or these courses are very good for just beginners. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and try to. But we can't just leave it like that. Just talk about it and agree, and then forget it. You need to start from today. At least one example a day, one PowerShell commandlet and Python commandlet a day. Start doing that today, right? From today. So this is what we were talking about, manifest, and then the rest of the option is, so overall what we talked about is that if you have app registration is the area where whatever application you have added from enterprise applications, 3,500 plus applications there, so it shows here as well where you can play with its customization and with its permissions area, right? So you can rebrand it, put logo there, and also just give consent for which users want to connect to which, right? So this is the app registrations area. Then there is identity governance here, and identity governance is really interesting, and they've really worked on it a lot. What happens is that in identity governance, you're managing the identity, which means user accounts. Which user account has or should have access to which resources, for how long. Which user account should have access to what kind of access to which resources, like which virtual machines or storage, and for how long, right? So suppose you have a top admin, and that top admin should have 24/7 365 access to some of the resources like virtual machines or storage or networking. But that top admin's account, if the hacker gets or hacks that top admin account, then you're just everything the hacker can do. So how about we even make the top administrator also give a reason, and then give a reason that why and for how long that admin needs to connect to that particular application. So obviously it's for maintenance or for troubleshooting, but the admin has to give a reason. After every 3 hours, the admin will be disconnected, and the administrator logs in again and then start troubleshooting or maintenance. And but first, when the administrator logs in again, give a reason again. Oh yeah, I'm troubleshooting for this application and this problem occurs. Okay, give me access. Click. Okay, now I'm again. Then after 3 hours, you're again cut. Again, give me a reason why you're still working on it. So this is kind of not very productive. But in large environments, you have to follow compliance. You have policies there. So this is one of those where you can make the life of an administrator much more hell than it already is, right? Oh, well, it's just Microsoft's zero trust model. So Microsoft says don't trust anyone, and then even make accountable even the top administrators who are supposed to have full permission. Even make them accountable, and make them ask as well, and that why are you connecting there. Obviously that person is responsible for your whole $1 million investment, but even that person has to justify why that person is connecting to your resources, although you know why. So this is when you're documenting every access, you would know that at this time this administrator for that long connected. Whenever you're investigating, suppose the hack did happen, then at least there will be a lot of written reasons there by the administrator that at this many times the administrator connected, and this was the reason all this time, right? So okay, there's a message here. Click on onboard in the left navigation menu to start using access reviews now. So where is this onboard on the left navigation menu? So if we go down, and down, so there's an onboard here. Oh, this one. So if we click that onboard, I hope you're all seeing that. So if you click onboard here, and it says using access reviews, you are able to leverage attestation to increase visibility of access rights in your organization. Seriously. So this, in English, it says that you're attesting to or agreeing to increased visibility of access rights. Jack has full rights, and then John has just domain admin rights to one region, 20 applications there. So those all accesses are more visible to you now. That, oh, this guy has that many rights. Okay, let's review. Last year you had these many rights. This year, do you need those rights? Because I want to take away those rights now. And the user has to justify, no. I do this. I take care of databases. Last year I had to troubleshoot that aspect of application, and I because of my efforts, so much productivity was gained, or returned or restored. So you have to then justify why this year also you need to still have access to this application. So more visibility to who is accessing your critical applications. That's what you're doing here, right? Okay, Chintan says here, can we manage contractor user account which is temporary already and remove automatically from identity governance? Remove, well, identity governance has a lot of options. So yes, you can put, hey, contractor, you can connect only for 3 hours, that's it. 2 hours, that's it. 24 hours, today, that's it, gone. After that, your access will be removed automatically. So yes, identity governance has a lot of features here that can do that. So guys, if you're there, so then second thing is what it does is manage guest user access. Oh, there you go. And recertify group memberships and application access. So suppose you're a member of a security group that has full permissions. That group has full permissions on Adobe Acrobat Cloud application, right? So why are you still a member of this group that can be reviewed every 6 months, every 3 months, whatever time, every 1 year, whatever you put there? But there will be a review and approval process implemented for whatever time frame. After every 6 months, your boss has to approve, yes, this guy is needed for this application, so I'm approving again for next 6 months or next 3 months or next 2 weeks or next 2 hours. So it's up to you. So click the onboard now button to start using access reviews in the directory. So there's that onboard now. So if you see that, now you know what it does. So let's click that onboard now. Okay, so successfully onboarded access reviews in Cloud Engineers Academies. Oh, well, in your domain name, right? So if we go back now to Azure Active Directory, and then we go down to Identity Governance. So let's click that Identity Governance here inside Azure Active Directory. So that message is gone now. So it says here, efficiently and securely manage your digital identities. Grant each person the right level of access to the resources they need with Azure Active Directory Identity Governance. So that's the main thing that it's saying, grant each person the right level of access to the resources they need. So this is what you need to know here is all identity governance, that who needs access for how long. That's it, right? So if you go down here, then there is entitlement management, there is access reviews, and then there is privileged identity management as well. So entitlement management. So suppose you say, hey, I was hired as a Azure administrator, and I'm entitled to have access to all the virtual machines of Azure for this company and all the networking and storage account services for this company. So I'm entitled to do that. So they are managing their entitlement that, hey, yeah, we know you, that's where your job is, but we need to just make sure, should you have access to this all the time or maybe less time. So that's what it's saying. Manage access lifecycle at scale by automating request workflows, assignments, reviews, and expirations. So let's click that, create an access package here. Let's click this, create an access package. Once we go for create an access package here, then it says create a collection of resources that users can request access to. So what resources, like, oh, okay, hey, you 5 users, 5 contractors, you will have access to our this application, that application, that application, that's it. Okay, thank you, bye bye. And we will, lifecycle means that we will review that you 5 contractors have access to these applications or resources, but after 6 months or 3 months, we're gonna review that. Hey, should you still have access? And please justify that you should be given access for next 3 months or 6 months as well. So this is all about that. So create a collection of resources that users can request access to. So suppose it's application access to contractors or whatever, just some scenario there. So suppose we have contractors here, and I'm just gonna control A, control C, and you need to put a description here because there's a red star there, right? So application access to contractors here, and once you have placed it, so let's click resource roles. Right guys, so here, yeah, I was talking to my younger son. So here, resource rules are add different resources to this access package, specify the permissions associated with each resource by selecting a role from the drop down list. So it says that, hey, whatever resources, do you have groups and teams? So if we click that, so first you have to collect what resources are there, and then the next page you will see that who is supposed to be accessing or who is requesting access to these applications, and then you decide the life cycle there that okay, we will review your access to these applications. So suppose you click the group plus teams, and I think you are also seeing group plus teams there, although I'm in Office 365 Azure. If I go to my cloud Azure, the IAA, and I go to identity governance, because I used up my premium 2, so get a free trial of EMS E5 or P2 to use all identity governance capabilities. Yes, I am not eligible. So I'll just go to this P2 where I already have a premium 2. So see all groups and teams not in the general catalog. You must have the correct permissions to add them in this access package. I don't see any group or teams here. Did I create any group? So I'll just right click here, duplicate, and I think I did create groups here. Guys, are you seeing any groups there when you go to this page? Okay, when you go to this page here, yes and no and marketing. Okay, so this, oh, marketing. Okay, so yeah, you guys created that group there, and that's why you're seeing there. I'm just trying to connect, and it's asking me 1 billion times if I am sure. So I'll go to Azure Active Directory and users, in fact not users, I'll go to Azure Active Directory and then groups. How come I did not create any group? Hey, I have 2 groups, 3 groups here. Are you kidding me? So I'll go for one security group and marketing 1. I'm just, because I don't see that, so I'm just going to quickly create one. And marketing 1, and it's assigned. So this is a regular group with no owner, no one. Okay, so successfully, and it is marketing 1. Okay, I created a group. So I'll just go for groups and teams, and okay, yeah, it's not.
You need to check this option for the see all group, and then it will appear.
Oh, I have with those options actually 3 groups already here.
Yeah, when you check it, it will appear all the group.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
check this option.
Marketing and Azure role assignments. Oh, I'm in marketing 1. Yeah.
Go to the same window or the new access package.
Oh yeah. So access all the this one. AzureAD roles can be assigned to the group. I think that one you're talking about, or if I go for dynamic user, no. Anyway, guys, I'll just create another one. What you were saying was, yeah, I understand this option was not this. I should say yes to this one, right? So, marketing 2, quickly, marketing 2, marketing 2. And yes, so marketing 2 is there, refresh, and then I go there, and
yeah, click this option. No, yeah, go again, go to.
Okay, so I need to click something else. I'm just
yeah,
too fast.
check this option. Check option. Yeah.
I didn't click that.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Wow. See, sometimes I'm just going too fast and I skip very simple things. Everything was there. So see all groups and teams not in the general catalog. Okay. Thank you, sir. And okay, so just go for some groups, and you're just trying to, suppose you select that, and there are 3 groups here that you're adding, and then it just says select a role. If there are applications, I'm going to go for applications here as well. See all applications. If we see that, so there's that applications that we created, so I can just go for some application. Suppose this is Adobe Acrobat. So what are we doing? Yeah, you're going to see that in the next steps, that first of all you create a group or a package of maybe there are groups and applications. We don't have any SharePoint sites, obviously we didn't create any, and that's why it's not going to show, but the thing is you're selecting some groups, and then it says role as well. So maybe there's an owner role there, there's a member role here for user and owner here. I'm just going for some roles here. right now, whatever I can select just to show that what happens next. So you collected a group of resources here. Okay, so that was so you collect a group of resources. So there are groups and there are applications. Now you go for requests here, and in the requests that create a policy to specify who can request an access package. So those who are administrators, those who are actually concerned about these security group, they are supposed to have access to the security groups, will always request access, obviously. So but then you will make their life a bit more miserable by making them justify that why do they want to connect to this group, and why do they want to connect to this Adobe Acrobat, Adobe Creative Cloud, and these security groups there. So first of all, request for those. So for users in your directory, for users not in your directory, none, administrator direct assignments only. So it's up to you. If we go for users in your directory and specific users and groups, all members excluding guests, or all users including guests. So suppose we go for, if you go for specific, you have to identify which users. If you go for all members, so pretty much all members. So this is like all the users in your Active Directory. So suppose I go for all members, right? That so all members actually need to access this security groups and Adobe Creative Cloud. Then you see here require approval. So if I press yes, then it goes for require requester justification. Wow. So the requester, all members are requesters, all Active Directory, right? Because you're saying that all can be a requester to request membership of the security groups that we added, and also that Adobe Cloud Creative. So require requester justification. So please justify and please give a full essay on that, why I should be given access to those groups and the application, and how many stages are there. If you want them to jump from the 12th floor, then you go for 2 stages here. This means that they have to get 2 approvals, or if you want them to stay intact, then 1. And this means that 1 approver here. So first approver, manage as approver, or choose specific approvers. Oh wow, specific approvers, manage approvers. So fallback, suppose there's a approver there and then that approver is on not available that day, so fallback to who? So fallback means as a backup, who should be approving if your manager is not there. So I'll click the add fallback here because there's a red sign there. You have to click some and add someone, and I'll just add some random user thinking that okay, that guy is actually, the manager whenever our actual manager is gone, right? And then decision must be made in how many days? 14 days. So you request, hey, give me access to the Adobe application. So it goes to the approver, but approver is not there, your manager. So it falls back to this guy, and this guy has to approve within 14 days. This is 14 days written here, right? And then require approver justification. Really? Are you kidding me? So it says an approver must provide a justification for their decision. So if they approve you, why did they approve you? So they should also be putting a justification there. And then there is show advanced request. So requester should justify why requester is requesting access to the application, and approver should justify why I approved for that requester. Wow. Okay, so this is pretty much ITIL, right? Change management. That's cool. So if no action taken, forward to alternate approvers. Wow, if that approver is also sleeping all day and playing lawn tennis and watching YouTube and cat movies, especially funny cat movies. So you can just, after 14 days, it's going to go to another approver. So press yes here, and then, whoa, it goes through approver after approver, and that approver has to approve that in 8 days. So, yeah, I'll just go for no, but you can add even backup of the backup approver, right? And enable new requests and assignments. Yes, even new requests can be made for that application and 3 security groups that I added there. So that's pretty much all ITIL. You should get certified for ITIL certification as well, because companies do appreciate if you know how proper change management happens. This comes in the interview often as well. That will you follow ITIL rules to make any changes to the configurations? So that question I faced in several interviews. Okay, so let's click next life cycle here, and that is access package assignments expire. So suppose the approver approved for you. So is it for 1 year that the approval is there, or that is never expires once the approver has approved for you to access those groups and application, then it never expires, or every 1 year it will. So every 1 year, the approver, you have to request again, you have to justify again, and the approver has to justify why the approver approved you, right? So, or you can go for on date. So whichever specific date, the request should be all again done from the users for those application and security groups. Show advanced expiration settings. If you go for that, allow users to extend access. Well, if you allow, if I press yes, so then they can extend access. Hey, I still need to do some troubleshooting here, and I don't want to go through the approval process. It sucks. But you say, yeah, whatever. So, well, I'll click no here, but the process is here if you want to require approval to grant extension. So even if you want to have granted extension, you need approval for that, right? So you can press yes to that, and then approval have to be known. Otherwise, users can extend. And then there is actually here we said no. So access reviews require access review. If you press yes here, so then the user will definitely, employee will definitely quit your company after that. So require access reviews, yes, and starting on this date, they will review again. Why are you accessing? Justify again. Okay, so until you start crying on your knees. So starting on this, and review frequency quarterly, so quarterly you can go for that, or monthly, just to help the user decide sooner to quit. You can go for monthly as well, right? Every month you have to request that access to that group. And duration in days 25. So you get that. And reviews is self-reviews or specific reviewers, really. And if you go for specific reviewers, then you can go for who will review. Then you can add reviewers. So this is pretty much all ITIL. After going through this, you should understand that ITIL certification would have this process explained. And well, there's a lot more than this, but this is one of the more critical ones. So anyway, you should do that certification as soon as possible and put it in your resume. And exactly, life cycle. So this is life cycle, and so every year, or you want to review frequency is quarterly, biannually, annually, up to you. Let's go for review plus create. Yay! So we understand the whole process. These applications. Yeah.
I just have a question. I just need to know that the whole process of approving and these all processes. So it's like we are doing this because of just to make it automatic process, or how does that work? Like if we just set up that XYZ is the manager and he's gonna give approval. He's the approver and he's gonna give approval. So whenever the user wants an access, the approver request, the request will go to approver like automatically, or what's gonna happen?
So this is for 1 year unlimited non-stop access, this process. So or 1 year, so number of days is 365, so it's 1 year. So suppose you go for on date, so until 365 days according to this current setting, you're approved to openly access your application as many times in the day. So we haven't gone to, hey, every 3 hour we will need your explanation for that. So that is called just in time, or JIT. So that's another upcoming feature where you can make it every 3 hours, every 5 hours, every 10 hours. But this is not that. This is unlimited access for 1 year. After that, we will review again. Why do you need access, and justify it. So this is that. Okay. Alright guys, so here, if we understand this process, and it's pretty good. Yeah.
So if it is like temporary, like not a temporary, but for 1 year, then why it is asking for multiple approval? If it is not present, then go for another one. like approval, and
Multiple
after
approvals.
it is over.
Yeah. So multiple approvals are just, if two approvers want to give access, two approvers will think and evaluate my last year performance and every, what I did, and I still have access to that critical resource. So instead of one, you can go for two.
So that means like it will send the email, like say first
Yes.
approval, yeah, if it is not present, then it is sending email to second approval
Yes.
after.
Exactly. Backup.
And once they approve it, it will done automatic, like they
Exactly.
get
Yeah.
select.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
those applications or those security group membership now, all users have to go through, this approval process to become members. So, if I go for review plus create here, and then that's it. So you can review all your permissions there, and pretty much we implemented one portion of ITIL. If anyone has used ServiceNow or any ticketing system, right? So that is all. Also, you need to get approval for any change management. Ticketing is normally a bit different, but still, it also is applying many of the ITIL rules there. So let's click create. So those who are interested for ITIL, I'll just add that in that exam prep course there in LMS, ITIL Foundation questions as well. So at least go through those, and if you want to go for. So four. Chintan says, oh yeah, ITIL version 4 exactly, Foundation 4. Oh, you have V3 already. You have Foundation 4. V3 is old. Oh, that's good. But yeah, if you have done V3, I think good enough to put it on resume, ITIL, that's it, right? So normally companies do not ask that, but if they are really, really like, investigative, then they can ask. So, guys, here, we see access package, and we created an access package here, right? So pending request, active assignment. Now guys, we added two groups there, right? Um, Now, I have this really, like that, what we can say, curiosity that I'm in that group, and this is the marketing one group I think I added there, and I'm inside the marketing group here, and there's a group membership here or members, and if I go to add members, and there's that member here, and I select that member. Maybe when you log in from that member and then go for membership, and then the request procedure initiates. This page includes previews available for your evaluations. Otherwise, yes, I was as a top admin, as a root admin, I'm able to do that all. Osman says, is ITIL mandatory in today's market? Well, ITIL based questions were asked a lot. Some companies insist that you should have ITIL as well. Many HR departments insist that you should have ITIL. In one of the contracts, I was there, and the company was saying that our client is asking those who haven't done ITIL, please do that, and they gave us a deadline. I have already done that before, so I didn't have to do. My colleagues were forced to do that in a bank, so it's good to have. If not, they will make you do it. Yeah, support job, it is required. There you go. So Chintan says that. So definitely, I would suggest do it ASAP. ITIL, right? Okay. So there, we're talking about this. So I'm just gonna go back here, and there's that access package. Now I'm just gonna go back to getting started again, and this is where we were, and we created an entitlement management here, right? But it's boring. Yeah, it's boring. It's not that exciting. There's no technical stuff there like what we're doing here. It's really boring. I prepared it in one night, and next day gave the exam until. Then I studied later all the rules. Okay, when they asked us to. Okay. So there's access reviews here, but 740 guys. So we'll go for access reviews after. This is a break. So 740 till 8 o'clock, right? 20-minute break. Let's take that and then come back again, and we will go through access reviews and then privileged identity management as well. So let us take that break and come back. Now, all right, we're back from the break, and so what we're talking about was so we were talking about the identity governance, and there's that on this page getting started. I have this getting started, and then there's learn more here, and learn more has all the topics there, and in fact they have a video there as well, what is terms of use in Azure Active Directory, and some of the informational videos in the getting started under identity governance, and then there's learn more here. So access reviews, entitlement management. Can you say that fast? Entitlement management. No, I cannot. So okay. Anyway, so what can I do with terms of use and privilege identity management? And well, it just talks about. Now, if we go for efficiently and secure, so we talked about entitlement management, and we try to configure it. Let's go for the second one, which is access reviews. So this is about enable certification campaigns for SaaS apps, software as a service. So where you don't need to worry about the virtual machine, CPU, virtual CPU, virtual RAM, and even you don't have to worry about the operating system. It's just the application that you worry about. So it's SaaS apps. So certification campaigns for SaaS apps remove excessive access. Remove, like you gave full owner access to an application to some user, and maybe that user is actually the one who maintains that application, but still giving excessive access, you can just avoid that, and whatever that user needs access for day-to-day basis, then just provide that much access. Block guest access and delete accounts. So this is where the access review comes, and if we go for create an access review here, let's click that. So there's that review name. So access review, we can just give some name here for company resources, and then Control A, Control C, click here and Control V. So there's a start date here, frequency, one-time access, weekly access, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually. So, or just one-time access you're talking about. If you go for weekly, then duration in days is 3. So 3 times in a week you're getting access, or if you go for monthly, then it's 14 times. The frequency is monthly, and duration in days, 14 days. You will go there and end by, so number of times, and then end date is this. So depends on how do you want to give access. So after 14 days the access will be reviewed, right, if it is monthly, and this means at the end, at the mid of the month, the access will be reviewed, and then so there's end date, and then there's users to review. So members of a group, guest users only, or everyone will be reviewed for access, right? So you can go for guest users only or everyone, but guest users, obviously that makes sense, they're outsiders and they don't have regular accounts in Azure, so you would want to have access reviewed for those guys. And then there is you can just go for select a group, and there is a red star there. So if you click that group here, so it shows you marketing 2, sales group, test. So I'm just gonna go for some group here, marketing 1 maybe, whichever, just to put some group here. So users to review, guest users only belonging to this group, if you put that group there. And then reviewers are group owners or selected users or members, which is self or the root user. Or I go for selected user here, and then you can just see who are the reviewers who will review the access of guest users, right? And the review will be happening every 14 days or in a month, or in week every so 3 days within a week. You have to review the access, or if it is one time only. So it's up to you. I just put month here, and so we get the idea that what's going on here, and then select reviewers. So who will be the reviewers who will be reviewing access for guest users that many time in a month? So if I just select some regular user here and put that, and then there is a programs link to program. So if I click that, so it says default program here, but normally it is any program that in the programs area that you have to add. Suppose you want to go for Adobe Acrobat Creative, and then try to check that. Otherwise, it's just, if it's not added, then you can just, so we're going to check that link as well. Upon completion settings here, so upon completion, auto apply results to resource. So upon completion of this, if reviewers don't respond, then no change or remove access. So as soon as this review is implemented, so apply it, and the review, if there's no if reviewers don't respond, so reviewers have to review and approve, right? And if they don't respond, then what do you want? No change for the user. User can, if reviewer did not review the access, then let the users keep on working for the rest of the 14 days as well in a month. Or if the reviewer do not reply, then remove access or just automatically approve access. Take recommendations. So it's up to you. How do you want to go for this ITIL based change management and review access, or identity governance as it is called. Then there are advanced settings here, and if we go down here, so show recommendations and enable, and that is, if enabled, system recommendations based on users access information will be shown to the reviewer. So reviewer can get recommendations. I think you can let this guy work. He's been working all week and day and night. Come on, boss. Well, I know that's what I recommended, but they will send some recommendations according to how many times the user accessed information. According to that, suppose the user never accessed or just once or twice, so recommendations would be there, but reviewer doesn't have to go for those recommendations and act upon it. Require reason on approval, yes. So why did you approve? Give a reason. So approver has to give a reason if this is enabled. Mail notification, so the users Azure AD to send emails to reviewers when an access review starts, and to admins when review completes. So yes, it will send notifications that, hey, the review has started again. It's been 14 days now since you had access to this resource or application. So reminders, then there are reminders there as well. And in preview is additional content for reviewer email. So this is just what you want, additional text shown in the email sent to reviewers. So when reviewers need to review the access, maybe you can just put some more legal text there as well, or some rules there. Hey reviewer, you need to review. If you don't review, you're fired. So you can just give that kind of professional message. Well, so it's again about access review on monthly, daily, weekly, semi-annually, annually basis, quarterly basis, right? So this is just one access review here, and if I click the start here at the end, so pretty much what we talked about before, it seems like the same thing, but you're doing an identity governance here as well, and access review. We just need to explore that what's inside access review here. Now guys, there was that program that came, and it was just showing default program here, right? So that area, when you were doing access review, you saw a default program there, which is, we don't know what that is. But if you go to the programs here, so what is a program then? There's a default program, built-in program to start managing access reviews. Okay, but if you go for a new program here, then it's just giving us pretty much nothing. So this means that it's a built-in program of review access, or if we go for test and test, so and click create here, add program test to your Azure AD. Okay, I know it's successfully added, and oh, okay, it's not moving away. This means that we have to refresh. I'll click somewhere else and then click back here. There's the test. If I go inside that new program that I created, right? Or if I go back to identity governance, which is again this interface where we were on getting started, but we're now in the programs. And if I go to the default program itself, if I go inside here, so there is that reviewed apps, quick tasks, review of group members, and review of applications. So inside a program, you can just go for these configurations. So when you were saying that we were making a schedule on a program, for a program, what is program then, right? So built-in program to start managing access reviews, and it says there that all the guest members, the program just says that all the guest members will be reviewed for access, right? This is an access review of company resources is active now. And if we go for reviewed apps here, so there is pin to dashboard. If I just click on top of that, so it's just not showing anything or any app right now. If I go for new access review, this again just takes us back to that access review. So what apps were reviewed by the guest users, what security groups access the guest users. So it's all about the guest users accessing any resource there. So hey guest users, we have a schedule for you now that whatever resource you were accessing, we will just review you every 14 days in a month. Yeah. This means 2 times in a month, right? At the middle of the month and at the start. So if I go to the getting started here, so this is access review. Before that was access package. So collection of applications, and then those users that need to access that, and they can request, and that was it. So we went through that. Create an access review as well now. And then there is that enable just in time and scheduled access. So just in time, just in Trudeau, just in Bieber. So but it's not just in, it's just dash in. So let's go for that. Manage role assignments. So what is privileged identity management? So until now we were talking about access reviews for who? Guest users. They are not privileged users. They may be given a privilege to some applications, but when we talk about privileged identity, these are the top guys or users which need to be given top access to some application or resource there. So that's where the just-in-time access comes, which means that you can just implement that. Hey, after 3 hours, just give me, you will be disconnected, and then you have to give a reason again if you want to reconnect. So making administrators' life more miserable, but it's zero trust model of Microsoft that's in action, which is pretty good and appreciated by the IT industry as well. If we go for manage role assignments here, so in the manage roles assignment, you are using the updated privileged identity management experience for Azure AD roles. I am getting that. Hopefully you're also getting exactly that. You're using the updated privileged identity management experience. So use privileged identity management to manage the life cycle of role assignments, enforce just-in-time access policy, and discover who has what roles, right? So life cycle of role assignment. So when you're giving a role, hey, you're the administrator of Microsoft Dynamics from now on. You've been assigned that role. Okay, so life cycle means that, hey, after 6 months, we're gonna check that do you still need to be assigned to this role as an owner, and that's the life cycle. So there's always a check and balance going on. How frequently you want, maybe it's a very security sensitive environment, and you want even more frequent reviews of some critical resources there. So, oh, you've been given an owner role. Okay, after two weeks, we're gonna just reassess if you still need to be given owner. Owner has all the permission, right? So, or enforce just-in-time access. Hey, okay, you have been given owner role, but I'm gonna let you just use it for a few hours. After that, give me a reason why do you need access again. Wow, seriously. And discover who has what roles. So yes, oh, you still have, so well, the thing is that it's all about privileged identity. So privileged will not be privileged anymore. Okay, so users with manage access, then there are three there in privileged identity access. There is activate just in time, and then there is discover and monitor. So first is manage access here. Users with excessive access are vulnerable in the event of account compromise, obviously. So ensure your organization manages to least privilege by periodically reviewing, renewing, or extending access to resources. So why do you have full root account access? We need to review that periodically, right? So you can't have all-out access throughout the year just because you're the senior administrator there and you're responsible for our $1 million investments, that they don't go down and they are secure. And thanks to you, we are earning as a company millions of dollars per month, but we still don't trust you. Thank you very much. Okay, so obviously this is a reality. If you till now we've been trusting the top admins, and if hackers get hold of their accounts, there you go, your company's gone, right? So it's for everyone's good. So let's click that manage button in manage access, and so here uh, uh, roles are there, and then obviously you can just see that who has what role. So this is where you can manage access, that you want to give anyone any access. So just go to roles and simply try to give that, or just go for custom role there. If I go for, so there are roles here, it just took us to the roles. If I go to add assignment, we already know that how to add users to a role, right? Just click on top of it and add a user, right? So, and if you go to add assignments, so this is just privileged identity management and Azure AD role. So that is just membership, and select a role. It's just saying, okay, that's the same thing. If I just go for some role here, application administrator, suppose, and what is the scope? No scope selected here. So there's a scope. So which application you need application administrator role for? So suppose you're expert in Adobe Creative Cloud. So okay, you've been given application administrator role on this particular application called Adobe Creative Cloud, and select. And then who are the members? So you can just go for any of the members there. I'll just select one member here, and that's it. So what you did here was that add assignments, and you selected a role, and for which application you decided this application, who's the members, and then selected members here. So select members, and one member was selected, right? So, and then next. So now you can see this assignment eligible. So okay, we have given you application administrator for Adobe Acrobat Creative. So maximum allowed eligible duration is 3 months. So you're only eligible for that for this much time. Suppose this is the maximum time I think they are giving, but suppose that day you remove that access from that user, and that is September. This is 9/9, and we can go for 10/9. So just 1 day access, or 1.5 day access you're giving. So you're giving application administrator role to that user on that application just for 1 day. After that, that user will have that time expired. So that's really cool, right? And so that's it. That's what you do here, and click assign, then So just for 1 day or even 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, but you assigned that much time only to that user. So what level of privilege you give to which application for how long. So you just did all that with the roles section, right? Roles feature. So that's pretty cool. And if we go back to privileged identity management here, so we were talking about manage access here, and we gave access for very limited time for to one user to just one application, and it's automatic here. So this is something that you should be using periodically, or and implementing that. Hey, you want access for this time? Okay, it will be automatically gone. So good luck, and finish your work before that. Okay, so then there is activate just in time here. So reduce the potential for lateral movement in the event of account compromise by eliminating persistent access to privileged roles and resources. Enforce just in time access to critical roles with PIM. See, so simple. That's what it does, right? That's what it does actually. So in English, it means that reduce the potential for lateral movement in the event of account compromise. So your user account can be, administrator account can be compromised, right? And you want to reduce even the damage that can be done even after the account is compromised. What kind of damage can be implemented, even prolong that. So by eliminating persistent access, so that hacker who got your administrator username password and is trying to do something, so after 2 hours, that hacker, or maybe 1 hour, or maybe 3 hours, or 5 or 10, that hacker has to just it will be removed access, and then has to log in again and define the reason why that user account holder is logging in again now. So eliminating persistent, so you won't get persistent access. That's what it's saying, right? To privileged roles. Okay. So if we click the activate here for just in time access, and there's eligible assignments, active assignments, and expired assignments. So there's nothing expired, but there are active assignments there that actually shows you authentication. Well, I see 2 here. Do you see any, guys? When you go to just in time, do you see any in active assignments? Oh, only 1. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, and Quasar is the only one. Okay, so this means well, we can just go for I think you're seeing authentication as only, but or the global administrator, second one or the first one? Authentication administrator, same. Oh, 2. Okay, and global admin, global. Oh, so you guys are all seeing global admin. Ahmed is seeing 2 actually, just like I'm seeing. Uh-huh. So that's strange. So guys, here it already has active assignments here, but if you check that membership is direct, state assigned, end time is no end time. It's permanent, right? So that's something that so it's Azure AD roles. Obviously, we have not been given. So if I go to the scope here, I just click the scope here, right? So it takes me to users preview inside my roles, privileged identity, and I'm in the users preview. This page includes previews available for your evaluation or view previews. Wow, view preview. So if I go for add member, so and select a member here and select, so this user is just added in that administrative unit. Now remember, well, maybe in last class you remember that we created the administrative unit, which is just defining a scope that, hey, you're the top admin for just this East US, or you're the top admin only for this domain here. So this is that administrative unit in which I just added one. But what I wanted to show here was that can you, so I'm just going to go back to my roles here. and I just wanted to show just-in-time access. Now this is very it's better seen there in virtual machines console, where you see just-in-time access, and you can actually configure 3 hours. But let me just go back one step, and privilege identity. When you see the privilege identity management here on the main GUI interface there, right, where there is activate just-in-time, there are Azure resources area here, there is privileged access groups here, and AzureAD roles here. So just to show you some time related configurations, let me just go to Azure resources. There are so many things that I have to check. So if I go for roles here, assign eligibility, yeah, this one. Okay, so yeah, first I went here, activate. When I tried to check here, there were 2 roles, and they were actually active assignments are these. Root account is there, and it's actually permanent, and there is no end time for that. So, and we cannot even change that, right? But we need to see that, hey, can't we change the end time? Hey, you're connected for not permanent but 3 hours. You're connected for 24 hours but not permanent, right? So obviously these are the global administrator accounts, so that's why we can't do anything. So Azure AD roles, if I go back one step, privilege identity management again, back from here, right? This one. If I click that, I'm back to the interface here. But on the left side, I see this Azure AD roles. If I go to Azure AD roles, so there is that assign eligibility, assign users or current admins as eligible admins for specific Azure AD roles, so that they only have access when necessary. And activate your eligible admin roles so that you can get limit standing access to the privileged identity. So, and then approve requests and audit the requests. So Azure AD PIM is a premium feature that enables you to limit standing admin access to privileged roles. So this is exactly what we are seeing. Although review access also did the same thing, this review access, right? So if I go for the assign eligibility here, assign eligibility, and pretty much it took us to exactly the same thing in the roles that we saw, that when you add an assignment, you choose one role, then you choose an application. Suppose it was administrator application, so application was chosen, and one user was, or few user was chosen, and then time was chosen, right? So it just takes us back, which is pretty much also explaining what is just-in-time access, where you can actually control. We did that with manage access actually. Now just-in-time I can show you in virtual machines when we come. This is the upcoming topic, virtual machines, where also you will see just-in-time, and that will show you a very perfect, very excellent example of how just-in-time really works. But here, I'm just gonna go once more here, and I never was able to give an example on this. If I go for privileged access, I'm just gonna check now, because it didn't let me really openly do that. It's in preview, so already they are also testing that, so it's still not available. But an example of just-in-time access was in terms of users, is that access review that we went through, that you just give it for 1 day, right? I gave it for 1 day. I could have given it for 1 hour as well, and then access is gone, right? But just-in-time would be very so this was asked in the interview as well, what is just-in-time? But you would better see that in action in virtual machines, which is the next topic after Azure Active Directory, and we will configure that at that time, right? So, but just remember that just-in-time is also there. What it already has is permanent, and it doesn't let us really mess with that, right? Azure resources, nothing here. Okay, so I'm just going to go back here, and there's that discover and monitor here. Discover and monitor. I'm just going to click that discover. So it goes to assignments. So normally discover and monitor just means that who did you give access to which application at what time and when, what is the end time there. So discover and monitor, as the name says, you want to extend that, you want to update this information. This user, Amir01, has full access to Adobe Creative Cloud and for 1 day. Do you want to extend that? So Discover Monitor will just let you play with whatever you have already configured. Remove, update, or extend. So this is really interesting. If I click the extend here, so if I click the extend here again, maybe the first time it didn't get it. Okay, third time if I extend, okay, now it actually. So then there is permanently eligible, or the day assignment ends at this time. I don't want to end it at this time, so I'll just go for, hey, okay, I'm giving you 2 more days. So the duration specified exceeded maximum allowed. So this means that maximum allowed setting was there already set. I think I went for few days instead of month. So that's where it's just going. So we have to just simply click the edit this whole access and then go there and check the access. But you can extend there. I'm just going to cancel that out. If I go for update, so eligible, and then permanent, maximum allowed eligible duration is permanent actually. Wow, okay. So eligibility or active. So you can just play with these options as long as you know what you're doing, but it is here. Now, privilege and entity management, these are all the areas that you would go for: review access, approve request, pending request, my roles, and then access review. So we've gone through that, pretty much same idea again, same concept is coming again and again. I just want to show you just in time. For through virtual machine, you will see that the features are so simple and can be implemented so easily. So guys, I'm just gonna go for okay, I'm gonna go back to privilege identity management. So we went through these 3 areas there. If I go further back to identity governance, so this was access reviews, and then this was privileged identity management. So we went through entitlement management, then we went for access reviews, then we went for privileged identity management. So these are all the areas that you should be knowing before you go for any interview. For Azure Office 365, identity governance is something that you should be doing a lot of your notes. Just try to write all. So this is all saying here, and learn more as well. What is identity governance? So I'll just click that, and this is the page for that. Then what is access reviews? So you should have some, entitlement management. What is that? So I'll just put all those terms of use and privileged identity management. So you should know some professional definition for that, but we understand what exactly we were able to do and what is the purpose of that, right? So those all privileged identity management, I'll just put it here for your reading. So you should go for it says in that topic as well, all the Azure Active Directory terms of use, right? So the more reading you do, and just create your own definition for the interview purpose. If you do it now and just create a summary of professional definition for that, then before the interview you just have to revise that. Otherwise you will still be thinking, oh yeah, what was the definition for identity reviews, and what was the definition for access reviews? So try to go through, and what is overall identity governance. You should say it in professional definitions. So just I'll put that in LMS as well as separate links. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead here, and there's that.
Can you provide these links in WhatsApp as well?
Yeah,
WhatsApp
sure.
group?
Okay. Okay guys, so let's carry on, and this will be in LMS as well, and some of the exam questions will be for identity governance. If you have that file already for AZ104, you can open the PDF file and Control F or search for any questions about identity governance, right? So you can just check out then directly how many questions are there or any questions? Okay guys, so I'm just going to go back to the Azure Active Directory here, and we were talking about identity governance. So that was kind of a longer topic. Other than that, it will be then more straightforward topics after that. So application proxy, this did come before as well, and the purpose of application proxy is that how can you connect your local branch application through ADFS or without ADFS. And application proxy provides single sign-on and secure remote access for web applications hosted on premises. So it's all about in the Toronto branch, you want to connect, so there will be a connector group or download connector service, and you just need to have that application already published on the internet or accessible securely from internet to your branch, or from your branch to the internet, and you need to connect that to Azure cloud there. So in that case, you should so this is the application proxy has connectors that will help any particular application connect if that is published on the internet from or accessible from internet securely from the internet to your company data centers to if you want to connect that to Azure cloud. So this is the area for that. There is learn more about application proxy as well. So obviously if you have SQL Server or Microsoft Dynamics or any other Microsoft product there, enterprise grade application that you want to connect, then you can do that. So well, the purpose is to connect on premises application as it says here. So if I go to learn more about application proxy here, right? So we already know that it's on premises. If I go, yep.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, okay. So Azure Active Directories application proxy provides secure remote access to on-premises web applications. After a single sign-on to AzureAD, users can access both cloud and on-premises applications through an external URL or an internal application portal. For example, application proxy can provide remote access and single sign-on to remote desktop, SharePoint, Teams, Tableau, QLake, and line of business or LOB application. So this means that you have to normally go through this is a remote desktop gateway and RDS. Maybe some of you have used that. RDS is also used for application. It works like Citrix RDS or ISA server, as Mohammed was said. So these are some of the typical applications that we just talked about up there. SharePoint, remote desktop services. Yes, it's VDI. So normally you can simply, it works like Citrix. Application virtualization is there. Zen app, Zen desktop, right? Well, that is for Citrix, but it also does application virtualization, RDS. So how application proxy works, the following diagram shows how Azure AD and application proxy work together to provide single sign-on to on-premises applications. So there's that application proxy service, Azure Active Directory there, and there's a application proxy connector installed in your environment that is connected to your local Active Directory as well. And this is the web server that is actually having, so whatever users are connecting to this web server application in your on-premises environment can, from their own local credentials, can connect through the application proxy connector and then application proxy service to Azure, get connected to Azure Active Directory, get authenticated from there, and then ultimately connect to whatever application is there in Azure, right? So the first step is actually this user going to Azure Active Directory, and second step is to get authenticated there. Then the third step is, hey, application proxy connector. And then fourth step is local Active Directory will also confirm that who are you. And then fifth step is connect to that application. And then sixth is that, okay, we accept you there, and sixth is still going. And okay, you are accepted because the user was authenticated from Azure Active Directory as well as local Active Directory, and then what, thanks to application proxy service in Azure, and an application proxy downloaded, installed in any machine in your local environment, data centers, that the user was able to connect to the web server from Azure credentials, right? So this is that full diagram of how application proxy really works. I'll just put it here, application proxy, and also there in WhatsApp. Okay, so Azaldin says that what is the difference between ADFS and app proxy? So ADFS is really more complicated. So if I just try to annotate that now, wait, first of all, I'll check that. Did they already put that comparison? So let me just put that comparison here. So application proxy is clearly saying that the users are using their Azure credentials to connect to Azure first. As says use of MFA or third-party password setup. Yeah. Okay. Federation. Exactly. So this is application proxies that Azure users will be able to connect to any on-premises application with the help of their Azure credentials. So they can just connect to that. ADFS is obviously it's a federation trust, and it is on large scale. Second thing, and ADFS is installed normally in your on-premises, and on-premises all users with their local credentials are actually able to connect with single sign-on to any application that is outside of their local branch or local network environment. So they will be connecting to Azure through claim-based authentication. And claim-based authentication, I've already mentioned that as well. So the users do not have to put username password multiple times, whatever local username password they use for Active Directory. They log in from that, and then ADFS puts their information in claim, wraps as in the token, send it to Azure, which is ADFS compatible, and Azure then. So this can be done in very large scale. Thousands of users can connect with ADFS to any of the outside the company, outside the organization web application if they want to connect to that. So normally it is from on-premises to Azure. It could be Azure to Azure as well. Also MFA and third-party password setup is there as well. While application proxy is that your Azure credentials, you can connect to some on-premises application there. So it's and it's not large scale. Application proxy can be large scale as well, but ADFS is for all on-premises users, and the direction is from within the company to outside the company any application. Here, Azure users connect to an on-premises application. So it's opposite ways. Mohammad says in SharePoint, claim-based authentication require database servers. So in Azure, also need database. Well, yes, normally ADFS has its database created there, which is also claim-based. So when we install ADFS as a exercise in 70-742 MCSA exam, so you have to deploy either a small free SQL Express Edition database, or separately install a SQL Server and then install an application to connect to that, right? So that is how it is working. Right, guys, so I'm just gonna try to, but that was very good questions coming. Keep them coming. And so application proxy, and then this. Okay, so this page, try to just gather for your interview definitions and one diagram there. So before the interview, you need to go through a lot of data. So if they are in summarized way in very few pages in MS Word document, what is this, what is this, what is this, read the definition and that's it, you're good, you're good, you're good, then your interview should be very, very good as well, because you would have answered with proper definitions there for the interview, right? So many students created their own notes, very summarized notes, and before interviews they have been using that for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. So those notes really help before you go for an interview. So then there is licenses, and in the licenses you can see what licenses you have purchased. So if I go inside the licenses, I go for licensed features, and first of all it just says that, hey, the current license plan for this Azure AD organization in Azure is Azure AD Premium 2. I think everyone's seeing Azure AD Premium. Anyone not seeing Azure AD Premium 2? I think everyone has upgraded, right? So you should be seeing this now. For how to purchase or upgrade an Azure Active Directory paid license, or if you just want to know the features included in each edition, see Azure Active Directory pricing page. But otherwise, this is showing object limit of 500,000 with Azure AD free license, no limit for other licenses. So it's just showing you some of the features there, available features, features requiring upgrade. So that's very good when it comes to filter by category. So if I go for available features, I am on Azure AD Premium 2, well, for 30 days only, and I can go for available features. So it shows that these all features are available. Any of these features you want to go for more what do they do really do, then you can go for learn more here. Single sign-on, support for 10 apps with Azure AD free or Office 365 license, no limit for other licenses. So it just gives you, or if I go for features requiring upgrade, and there is none other. So this is the top license, Azure AD Premium 2. If you were on Premium 1, or if you were not on any premium license, then I think all the features would have, many of the features would have shown here in the requiring upgrade. We don't need any upgrade because that's all we have already. So these are your current features that you're seeing here. If you go under licensed features, there is all products here. And yes, I think we all did that. So you should be seeing Premium 2 here. Okay. Available 400 users, and hey, we have 390 users. Okay. So self-service sign-up products, and if we go for that, so there are no results here. Product assignment type and assigned, so nothing here. Self-service sign-up products. Then audit logs and the activity and new support requests for that. So you can just create all that. But it's the licensing area where you can see the details of your purchase license, current license, and current features that are available here. So if you go back to Azure Active Directory, then there is custom domain names here. So, licenses and Azure AD Connect. So we did that at the start of our course. So that's why it should be now understandable. And manage your on-premises resources, authentication configurations, and on-premises infrastructure using Azure AD hybrid services. So this Azure AD Connect is also saying that it is Azure AD hybrid services. So here, provision from Active Directory, Azure AD Connect, cloud provisioning. So this feature, well, we have used that already, right? So this feature allows you to manage provisioning from the cloud. So manage provisioning. So now this is in preview, or you want provisioning just means you want to deploy something. Azure AD Connect sync, not installed. Download Azure AD Connect. For me it's saying not installed because I'm on Office 365. So if I go to my cloud with I'm not on any premium Active Directory. So if I go to Azure AD Connect here, this one I connected. Yes, it says sync status is enabled. And more than 1 day ago. Last sync, password hash sync enabled. So this is what we get. But if we don't have it, then it's just gonna say sync has never run and disabled, obviously. In fact, I'll just show you my Azure Cloud related one. So you can see here federation. No, we did not connect to any ADFS. So seamless single sign-on, again, it is disabled here. So if I click the federation here, it still looking to move an on-premises application to the cloud and Azure Active Directory domain services. So it's just information, but you can just add custom domain. Suppose it's your on-premises domain that you want to add, right? So you can do that, or any other domain. We actually added from godaddy.com. So again, you want a single sign-on with that domain. So it shows all that. If I go to seamless single sign-on, if I click that, so there's that on-premises domain name. Nope, we don't have any. Here, and there is no single sign-on configured with our local on-premises domain and this one, which means that the users using their own credentials down there on premises, they should only use that credential, right? Here, AzureAD Connect, the user has to still sign in from the username at the domain name and the password here, right? For AzureAD Connect, the user's password has been synchronized, right? But with Federation services, you get single sign-on that you just have to log in once and just put that username once and connect to Azure as well as local services. Up to you. So seamless single sign-on and pass-through authentication, then that is also not there. So there's that. Explore the most common problems for your resource. Select troubleshoot to run an automated troubleshooter. Follow do-it-yourself troubleshooting steps or explore a wide range of troubleshooting tools. There are some troubleshooting tools they are also saying there for pass-through authentication, but let me just get that hybrid services, and I'm going to click on the top. There's a learn more there. When it comes to this, so ADFS to password hash sync, then there is ADFS to pass-through authentication. Azure AD pass-through authentication helps your users sign into both on-premises and cloud-based applications using the same passwords. This feature provides users with a better experience, one less password to remember, obviously, and reduces IT help desk costs because users are less likely to forget how to sign in. When people sign in, this is pretty much the ADFS way of doing things. If you go for ADFS with password hash synchronization, hashes of user passwords are synchronized from on-premises Active Directory to Azure AD, letting Azure AD authenticate users with no interaction with the on-premises Active Directory. So the thing is, you have separate username password there, and the local Active Directory is not disturbed. Here it says that it's if you're in on-premises, you can use just on-premises password once only, and you get to use on Azure as well as the on-premises. So these are again all ADFS related that you need to deploy, and that's pretty it's not that tough, but it's overwhelming, kind of time consuming, more time consuming there, the ADFS deployment. Staged rollout of cloud authentication. This feature allows you to test cloud authentication and migrate gradually from federated authentication. You want to get rid of your on-premises user. You're just moving all the user counts ultimately to your Azure cloud. So this is where enable staged rollout for managed user sign-ins. This feature allows you to test cloud authentication and migrate gradually from federated authentication. On-premises applications looking to configure remote access for on-premises applications. Again, this is application proxy from Azure to your on-premises applications. You can connect using Azure credentials. So this is, we just talked about it. Health analytics, monitor your on-premises identity infrastructure and synchronization services in the cloud. So guys, maybe you're still getting those errors that there's unhealthy Azure Active Directory connection there. Maybe you're getting that every day as well, or maybe you've stopped seeing those, then you're lucky, but you're seeing that, right? Okay, Ahmed says yes. Mohammed Abbas says yes. Okay. So guys, let's go inside this Azure AD Connect Health here. Azure AD Connect Health, and then so oh yeah, here, because I'm in non-premium one, I'm just gonna go back to the premium one here in Office 65. Go down here and Azure AD Health. Yeah. Oh, get free Azure AD Premium trial to help you monitor. Hey, I have it already. Anyway, so there's a sync errors here showing after the quick start. There's get tools even if you're in quick start. So first of all, what's new? Azure AD Connect Health or saying diagnose and remediate duplicated attribute sync errors from the portal is now generally available. So if you have multiple attributes given there, suppose your department attribute shows there for every user, then there is another department attribute shows there in every user. So two attributes in Active Directory in a profile of user, both says department. So that could happen as well with some wrong script there, messed up script as well. Get tools, download and install Azure AD Connect Health agents to get health and usage information of your on-premises services. So there are some tools there. If you already have those, ADFS configured there, or AD Connect is configured there, then you can put those tools there, and they will tell you that how much traffic has passed and how much, if there was any drop in packets, or if there is a disturbance in the bandwidth when the synchronization was happening. So all those kind of details, monitoring details, will be there with these tools. And if you have ADFS, you can just Azure AD Connect Health Agent for ADDS. This is not ADFS, ADDS. So AD Connect, so your local Active Directory, it will tell you the health for that too. And provide feedback, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then there is sync errors here. Under the quick start, you can see sync errors, right? So synchronizations, duplicate attribute, data mismatch. Okay, I should see that. Oh, no, actually, I don't have that sync errors if I go for. So guys, do you see 000 there, or do you see in sync errors some errors, or 1, 2, 3, 4? I think we're all seeing 000 there. I guess you're also seeing 000 there. Well, why 0? We did not create a duplicate attribute, obviously. There is no data mismatch, data validation failure, large attribute. We didn't do any changes on the attribute level, federated domain, existing admin role, other. So that's why you will see definitely. So if you go for sync services, I guess you're seeing sync services. I'm just gonna compare it with the other one. Oh, whoa. I have 1938 duplicate attribute. Why? I kept on synchronizing to the same Azure Active Directory in many classes with different domains. So I kept on doing that. So that's why there are many duplicate attributes there. Hey, it works. See? So in my case, yeah. Sync services, yeah, the caller is not authorized. Are you kidding me? Here, sync services, so it's just not saying anything. ADFS services, nothing. ADDS services, because we didn't configure any of those for ADFS. If I go down to settings, so use auto update to automatically update your installed Azure Active Directory Connect Health Agent with the latest version. So it's gonna update your AD Connect automatically, which is already on. Allow Microsoft access to your tenant's health data for troubleshooting purposes. Okay, Microsoft will be given reports for that. And then there is role-based control access. So who can manage this whole AD Connect and synchronization issues? But if you go to sync errors, so it's not showing that synchronization that we are facing. Hey, you have unhealthy, synchronization there. It's just going for these particular errors here: data mismatch, data validation failure, so if there are some mistakes done up there or down from their on premises to your cloud, so you can see specific these kind of errors. Only if they occur, they will show. So in my case, yes, duplicate attribute is showing, so it does work.
Yeah, but it doesn't show anything on your sync services, but it shows something on mine.
In your sync services or sync errors? Sync services?
Sync services,
Oh,
yes.
let me just go
I
to
can
that.
see the like one alert to the
Oh, you can see the alert. Hey, how come it's not? You know, I'm not on premium 2 in this account, so that's why maybe. But you're seeing there. Okay, that's. But are you able to click it? Like you can go inside it, that line, or not? Is it clickable? So in
Yes, it is.
so does it show a lot of synchronization errors there, which coincide with whenever our server is down and it cannot sync, so it's giving those errors, and those errors are coming your emails regularly in your email box. Well, since I'm not seeing that, so and yeah, I didn't connect that local Active Directory to this Azure, so that's why this one is not showing. It's on Premium 2. Other one is not showing because it's not on Premium 2 as well. So okay, there's that screenshot from Khwaja, and I'll just try to get that. Okay.
But my one it says unhealthy.
Unhealthy. Oh, so maybe Khwaja, you have started your server. Is your server started for on your laptop or desktop? That's why. No, he says yes. Okay, so that's why. Always. There you go. Usman, your server is shut down, right? So it detects right away.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So that's the answer to. So sync error is 0. So if as long as the server is up, you won't get the errors. When the server is down, it's unhealthy. So from time to time it can. But can you make any changes? Hey, don't send me those errors. I don't think that's here. That the frequency in which it sends those errors, maybe in the settings on the top here, for healthy or unhealthy, you can go inside and click that that hey, don't send me those errors. I know that the server is shut down, and I know that there is no synchronization going on. I don't care about that synchronization. Stop sending me those errors in my email.
Yeah, and the sync is very active. I just delete some users and add users. It just take 3 seconds. It back and forward create the users.
Okay, so sync right away updated that too. Cool.
Yes, if I do any changes on the local server, it also shows me on the AD Azure as well.
Okay, so that really works fine, and thank you for sharing that. Chintan says mine also unhealthy, and server is down. Okay, server is down. So guys, yeah, you could play with that, and you can just check that how quick it is to report changes when you do start your server, and then you go ahead and make some changes, and does it sync or not. So that's very good. Khwaja has actually tested that and shared with us as well. Thank you for that. So guys, you can test that too, and in that one line you can go inside, click it, and try to check in the settings if you can stop the services, or if you want to stop those unhealthy agent or unhealthy synchronization messages coming to your email regularly, and you know the reason, and you don't want to see those messages. In that case, you can just go to settings and try to stop those. Otherwise, keep it like that. Okay guys, so if we go back here to Azure Active Directory Connect, and we talked about all this, then under that is custom domains, custom domain names, and yeah, we know exactly what to do here. That was our pilot project at the start of this course, that we added those that domain that we purchased from GoDaddy.com, right? So if we go inside, so there's not much here in the custom domain. You just click add custom domain, and then you would do what we did at the start of the course. And if we go to an added domain, so nothing much, right? So in use 4 resources referencing this domain name. So in my case, it is saying 4 resources referencing this domain. If I go to the Azure cloud, I think it's gonna tell me a lot more than this. Custom domain names and cloudnow.buzz. So it shows me download Azure AD Connect. That's one thing. 4 resources referencing this domain. So if I click that 4 resources, okay. So I connected it to 4 usernames only. Okay, that's why 4. So maybe you guys are seeing, maybe, if you connected it to all the users, maybe 390 resources for you. But for me, it's just saying 4 resources when you go inside the domain, right? So as many users and groups you connected it to, so it will show those resources, that number of resources. But yes, not much here other than add custom domain. So I'm just gonna go back here. Mobility, MDM, and MAM. So mobile device management and mobile access management, right? So if I click that mobility here, I don't think you have these added. Oh, you should have, because this is my new account. So I think you should have these added already here as well, or maybe you don't. Oh yes, you have. Okay. So Microsoft Intune is by default added there. First of all, let's go to add. Okay, before even that, why Microsoft Intune is there? Oh, this means that we can use Microsoft Intune now. Yay! If I click that, so it's not actually the full Microsoft Intune. It's just connectivity to Microsoft Intune. This means that, do you have a license for separate licenses purchased for Microsoft Intune? Is that Microsoft Intune integrated to you? Oh, Usman, you don't see that? Like, well, I didn't add Intune here myself, and I think, yeah, Chintan also sees that. Sorry, I don't see anything. So Chintan, you were saying yes, or why? Like, why are you seeing? Because I'm not seeing. Why are you seeing? Maybe that why means that why. Why are you seeing? So so
Actually, I say like only I see option for MDM,
okay, all right.
but inside that.
Okay, cool.
So
Okay, guys. Yeah. So here, yeah, you don't see that, but I never added that. So maybe I have friends in high places, like on the 24th floor, related to Azure Active Directory and Azure. So let's click that add application here. Well, I didn't add them, and they're. Hey, did I do something in the back that could have caused it? No, I don't remember clicking Intune, but let's just go there. Once you click the add application here, so you see only the MDMs and MAMs there. There's MDM device management, so you can see some very famous names there. AirWatch from VMware, that's pretty much a lot of banks I've heard and seen there. AirWatch is being used a lot. Anyone using AirWatch anywhere in your companies, your friends' companies? That's one of the famous ones that goes for pretty much all types of cell phones. Well, actually, all others also go for all types of. And so SOTI is not there. We're gonna launch a complaint now that why Azure does not have SOTI. But otherwise, it seems like a really good application. And even that other one that is there, Mobile Iron. So, but Intune is Microsoft's own, so Microsoft Intune is mentioned still here. So, okay, guys, if you click that, oh yeah, it's expensive. That's why. Chintan says that's why Azure cannot afford it, right? So yeah, that could be it. So, okay, guys, suppose I go for AirWatch, right? So if we click AirWatch here, I cannot click Intune because it's already there, and I didn't add that, so I don't know why it's there. AirWatch, if you click, so you can see that AirWatch by VMware is the leader in enterprise mobility management. The AirWatch platform includes industry-leading mobile device, email, application, content, and browser management solutions. It is specific to Windows 10. Okay, enable user use Microsoft Azure AD to enable user access to AirWatch by VMware. So you add this, you just add a link there. The only benefit of that would be that Azure Active Directory users will be able to connect to your licensed and purchased AirWatch application. If it is on premises, you need to make a connection to that through application proxy. Or if it is AirWatch Online, hey, is AirWatch Online? Cloud AirWatch? I think there's an appliance for that. Cloud, it must be there because it's so famous and everything's in the cloud now. So AirWatch MDM alternative start for free. Mirador, no. Mobile device management, award-winning remote control. So AirWatch Cloud, yes. There you go. It's impossible if AirWatch is not on the cloud. It has to be. It's all the famous ones are on the cloud, right? So from cloud you want to connect. So you have to purchase the licenses again, and then you connect from AirWatch Cloud to this. So if I click that, well, this is the documentation on VMware for AirWatch Cloud Connector overview. Oh, in fact, they say about Cloud Connector. So what, suppose you were the administrator there, you would go for AirWatch Cloud Connector to Azure, right? So AirWatch Cloud Connector to Azure. Installing and configuring the AirWatch Cloud Connector. And AirWatch configure Cloud Connector. Well, yeah, if they have a Cloud Connector, obviously it is to connect to any Azure Active Directory integration with AirWatch. There you go. So a tutorial is there by Microsoft actually, that how do you connect AirWatch with Azure Active Directory. So if you have the licenses for that, and then you want to connect to that. So this is the whole process of connecting. We also talked about that identity providers. From there you can also go for AirWatch. So they have even given all the screenshots if you have the AirWatch already purchased. So Microsoft has guided you. Wow, amazing. So I'm just gonna put that here, and just we were talking about that, so that's why I'm putting it. And then AirWatch connector in WhatsApp as well. Okay, so if we go back to this, yeah, so I'm just gonna click the add button here, but we get the idea that it says here Windows Active Directory, read directory data, read and write directory data, read and write devices, sign in and read user profile, access the directory as the signed in user. So required permissions Microsoft Graph, read and write Microsoft Intune apps, read Microsoft Intune apps. So well, it's just saying that you should, if you have Intune there as well, then you can make a collaboration between the two, or Azure Active Directory users can connect to your licensed AirWatch application. So I added that, or I click the add button there. Obviously we don't have the licenses for that. So if I go back to Cloud Engineers Academy, so now I see that AirWatch by VMware is there as well. If I click on top of that AirWatch by VMware that I just added, so MDM user scope, use MDM auto enrollment to manage enterprise data on your employees' Windows devices. MDM auto enrollment will be configured for AAD joined devices. So if you have joined your devices to AAD either from Intune or from AirWatch as well, if AirWatch supports that, so when the devices are registered to Azure, then auto enrollment can work from AirWatch as well. So again, it is mobile device management, but you can integrate it with Azure Active Directory, but mobile RN and other as well you can add there, right? Okay, so we get the idea that, okay, so if we have any other, we can connect all those famous mobile device management solutions here as well, right? Then there is password reset, and if we go down to password reset here within Azure Active Directory, so I think we talked about password reset back there, but here self-service password reset enabled, and it is for all or for selected users. Yes, we went through that before as well. Authentication methods, mobile app, code, email, mobile. So you can just refer to previous class video where we gone through all these features already. So no point of repeating the whole same thing again. Then there's company branding here, and not configured. But if you click the inside the company branding, if you go to configure here, so you can just upload your logo, and then select a file here. And if I select a file and go for pictures, and yeah, just upload the logo here. So there you go. It does not accept my logo here, and this is I'm never going to use this Azure again. I'm just so heartbroken. Oh, it was language, seriously. Logo was here. Hey, I'm just checking if it works, right? So I'll just quickly go there again and put that logo here, and it doesn't even accept that. So again, I'm heartbroken, and I'm never going to use Azure again. Okay, so anyway, you have to just follow these instructions. It should be 10 KB, and image size should be 280 by 60 pics. But when the users are logging in, they will know right away. Oh yeah, this is our company's Azure Active Directory. Okay, so they're not going for anything. So Osman says we don't get charged for keeping MDM AirWatch. No. This is just a link. It's just a URL we have added. So yeah, it's not using storage. It's not using virtual machines. It's not using their hardware at all. So just like we have users there, and we haven't gotten charged. So yeah, that's also. I have these applications for like 2-3 years now. These are just the links. Okay, so here, advanced settings, sign-in page background color. So sign-in page should also show your company welcome page and logo and everything, introduction to your company. So you can do that all here in company branding page. And user settings. So this is for the Azure Active Directory overall when you go to user settings. So, oh yeah, we talked about that. Manage how end users launch and view their applications, app registrations. User can register applications, administrator portal. So one says, but you got some special contact with Azure, that's why you didn't get charged from 3 years, I guess. Yeah, I told that there's a connection there in high place. That guy who is in Azure lives on 24th floor, so that's pretty high. So maybe that's why, but otherwise I have no such connection. So we will learn it the hard way. If they do charge, let me know as well. They didn't charge me yet in pay as you go for 4 years, 2 years. Sorry. Okay, guys. So here, yeah, I think we talked about that already. Please tell them you have big team here as well. Exactly, you're right. Definitely, sure. So. Okay, so here administration portal, and restrict access to Azure AD administrator portal, and well, yeah, we talked LinkedIn account, also external users and user features. We went through in detail with all these features, so no need to revise that again. Properties. So that just says what is your tenant ID, what is your tenant properties or actual domain name here, which country and location, which data centers you're using. Your country of origin is Canada, but you're using United States data centers, right? They have all the advanced features there, so they force us to go there. Okay. Global privacy contract, you don't have any document for that. Privacy statement URL, you should create your own legal document for that. No break. Yeah. Oh, okay. Did we not have a break already? I think you're asking for a break again? No, right? Okay. So.
Yeah, I'm asking for a lot of information.
Hey, we had a lot of breaks already. We're at the end of. We are at the end of.
a lot, too much علم ما شاء
Okay,
الله.
that's great. That's great. Thank you.
Amir, we had 2 breaks, remember? Now we just, I don't know, we cut 1 break completely.
Yeah, we had actually 2-in-1 break, like from 7:40 till 8 o'clock. So now we're gonna have a big break at 10 for NBA. Yeah, National Basketball Association. Is it NBA? That okay? Oh, there's a match going on. Okay, that's what you're talking about. So on your TVs, there is a, there you go. The score is there. Gotcha. No, it's not gotcha. You actually told that. Hey, who's winning anyway? Oh, so 106, 104. Not bad. So not finalized yet. Okay, very tight. Yeah, 106, 104 is. Whew. I think there's still some time left. Access management for Azure resources, that's one thing that we need to see, and manage security defaults. This is a really cool feature. 19 seconds. You kidding me? Whew. Okay, guys, so let's switch to NBA match final moments there, and then we're gonna come back, right? Oh, just kidding. So, Chintan is there to upgrade. Hey, I'm just kidding. Come on. Okay, let's come back to this feature here. Manage security defaults. If I click that, manage security defaults, do not press yes to this, right? This is the dangerous one. Actually, it's a good one, but it could be dangerous one as well. Dangerous in a sense that, well, I should not say dangerous because it's going to enforce automatically. Yeah.
But my one is already yes before even I do anything.
No way. Okay. No, you pressed yes, right?
No, I didn't. I just click manage security defaults, and it on the left, right hand, it says security defaults yes. Enable security defaults yes.
Wow. It's already on yes by default.
Yes, it's already on yes.
So, oh, okay. Mohammed Abbas says yes. Anyone else? Everyone is yes. This means, I guess.
Yes,
Everyone.
I guess
Kidding
yes.
me. How come I'm not yes?
No, I'm not yes.
Okay, you're also not. And if I go to my other one and go to properties, and it never was by default. What? No. Hey, are you saying yes to this one? Access management for Azure resources. I'm talking about this one. Enable security defaults.
I got both of them. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So this one is can manage. So this one is saying that your root account with which you created this whole subscription has all the rights. So it should be yes. But this should be, well, if it is yes, it's good. Now let's talk about what is it. So security defaults is a set of basic identity security. There's a picture there in the back. Oh, okay. So yes, Quadra says yes, and it is actually both are okay. This one is yes. Specifically, this one is yes. How come this is no? Because your account can manage access to all Azure subscriptions and management groups in this tenant. Actually, this account should be yes because this is a root account. This should have all the access, and yours is no, Roger. So that's also strange. You can put that to yes. But this one, when it is yes, it implements the best security mechanisms automatically. It enforces security mechanisms implementation, right? So security defaults is a set of basic identity security mechanisms recommended by Microsoft. When enabled, these recommendations will be automatically enforced in your organization. Administrators and users will be better protected from common identity related attacks. So if we click learn more here, this one, learn more, then it gives you a detail of what security configuration. So concept fundamentals security defaults, this is a document that you should have in your information for Azure, and I'll just put it in WhatsApp as well. So these links create a summary of your own for the job. Okay. Yep.
I think from like when I'm saying yes to access management for Azure resources, and then when I refresh it, it again says that no.
So
It again comes back to no.
I'll try that too. So, but what does it do if you do say yes here? So it says, yeah, and so managing security can be difficult with common identity related attacks like password spray. Wow, that's our attack name now. Password spray, replay attack, and phishing becoming more and more popular. Security defaults make it easier to help protect your organization from these attacks with pre-configured security settings. So requiring all users to register for Azure multi-factor authentication. If you enable that option to yes, what it will do is it will require all your users to have MFA. So many of our users do not have MFA, right? So then it's gonna go after you, and it's going to not let your end users log in without MFA anymore. So that's really good. So requiring administrators to perform multi-factor authentication. Okay, admins have to have MFA. So blocking legacy authentication protocols. Any of the older protocols, suppose you're connecting from PPTP protocol for VPN, suppose you're connecting from HTTP, well, that's not legacy, but it's insecure or less secure. But any legacy older protocols that does not have security features built into them will not be allowed. Through that, suppose you're connecting from an application on premises to the cloud through some of the legacy protocols, it's not going to allow that. Requiring users to perform multi-factor authentication when necessary. So wherever necessary, suppose they're connecting from cell phone, suppose they're connecting through an application, so they have to put their MFA there, even through applications or whenever they're logging in themselves. Protecting privileged activities like access to Azure portal. So it will just do some more prompts will come your way, and you have to just say that, hey, yes, it is me, believe me, it's the administrator. Don't you remember we used to go in the park and had coffees together, and now you don't even recognize me? So anyway, Azure will just try to check even the top privileged accounts. Well, if you have MFA there and you have complex password for administrator, you're kind of good.
Why is it dangerous? Like, if it's useful, why is it dangerous?
Yeah,
Like this
I don't know
option.
why I said dangerous. Dangerous, not in the sense dangerous, but it is that in the training environment, too much prompts and too much security, and it's annoying more in terms of connectivity. Yeah, so it's kind of annoying during the training environment where we need to concentrate on other services. Otherwise, it's, yes, as you said, very useful. We should just simply enforce it on all. In production environment, you first train the users to use MFA. You spread the awareness, and if the bosses say no, we don't need that, then scare the hell out of them by talking about phishing attacks and hacking attacks and millions of dollars lost and critical data was shared. So then they say, yo, okay. So just and then you can press yes after 3 or 6 months of campaign in your company and training, and then after that you will see thousands of tickets. You never told us, they will all say that. Anyway, so the thing is that don't press yes without spreading awareness, right? Okay, and the human factor, as you say. So if I press yes here, as you were saying, it looks like you have a custom conditional access policy enabled. I think, Osman, you got the same message. Enabling a conditional access policy prevents you from enabling security defaults. You can use conditional access to configure custom policies that enable the same behavior provided by a security credential. So you say that they're just saying that if you have conditional access policy, then don't come here. And yes, we actually did configure conditional access policy. I think inside the users we configure that for if you go to users, seriously, what was the conditional access policy we configured? Inside the password reset, yeah, users password reset, and oh, it's not here. Serious? Authentication methods, no. Registration. Man, there are so many options that sometimes.
Actually, I'm not getting error here. I'm getting error on under the access management for Azure resources. Like I cannot manage access to all Azure
Oh, you
subscriptions.
got
That's what I can
different
see.
error, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, whatever we have been configuring just to check everything else, like just to check the settings we have been configuring. So we have to remove that configuration, and yes, it will let us. So it's in conflict with some of the configurations we did. So that's pretty much the explanation. And if you can get rid of that, yes. So I'm gonna go for so I just have to remove that setting that is in conflict. So conditional access in some area of user I configured or groups. So I need to go there, search that, and then remove that, and then it will let me do this. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I think it was in user settings, in AD user settings, under the company branding.
Under the company branding, there was a conditional access that we configured.
No, under that one, there's the user settings.
Users. Oh, this one. The conditional access that we configured in, I think, 2 classes ago or 1 class ago. I think, yeah, conditional access is not there. So, no, that setting I know where we were just now. But in some of the areas here, I configured conditional access policy in detail, and then I just created it. So it says that, hey, remove that, because conditional access policy is in 3 or 4 places here. So anyway, I'm just going to go for, I don't have to enable that because it's kind of be a little more annoying after that to even test our, I don't want some of the users to go MFA right now, because we need to test some of the other features with those users. So that's why I don't want to implement. Otherwise, implementing it is the best option.
Yeah. I just want to know, like here you just say no on under the access management. Why I could not, like I could do yes and I can successfully save it, but when I refresh it, it says no again. It shows me no again.
For this access management as well.
Yes. Yeah.
If I click save and then
So my one works. My one was no. When I click yes and then I save it, then it's successfully saved. Then I just
it won't work as well.
change it back and it works for me.
Oh, so Usman, you can sign out, sign in. Sometimes it's just cached information is there and it doesn't let you do that. So it's better to go sign out, sign in. First close all the browsers, have that one browser ready, then sign out from that, then close that browser as well, then just open one browser only and sign in from there. So then it may let you do that. Okay, guys, so then we go down to security. Okay, too many echoes. So in the security, there's a conditional access here as well. So this is Azure Active Directory, and then there is security. Yeah.
So we have to keep it yes or no?
If it is no and we were working fine, so then it's okay. But hey, you're right. I did click yes here, and it was yes for my Azure Cloud. Yes. If it is no, guys, you can just put yes here. If it was by default no, then you were able to do everything anyway, right? So then you can do better, put it on yes, because we were able to. So sign out, sign in. So yes and save. So you could do everything with this account, and we could learn all the other concepts as well. So press yes here and then save for access management, but not this one. If you want to go for this one, this is also good, but I'm not going for this one. So access management, yes, save, let's go ahead. Yay. Oh, okay, so it works for you. Good. And if we go down to security here, now in the security, it just says Active Directory offers a range of security features to protect your organization. To learn more, here are some features to start with. Azure AD Conditional Access, Azure AD Identity Protection, Security Center, Identity Secure Score, named locations, authentication methods, multi-factor authentication, MFA, security guidance, 5 steps to secure your identity infrastructure, Azure AD password guidance, AD data security white paper, password hash sync, PHS works. How it works. So, well, these would be very critical documentations for you before you go to any Azure interview. So do read all that. The more you talk confidently and comfortably about security, the more the company will love you, right? So they would prefer you even with a bit lesser experience than others if you're well versed in security terminology and concepts. So try to make a habit of talking more terminology that is related to security. That would really impress your interviewer, right? So not only that you know inside out of cloud, but you're talking so comfortably about security terminology. Wow, amazing. So try to get the hang of get those definitions in your head, memorize them, and blah 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 blah. Talk like you've been doing security for the last 1 decade, right? Just get used to talking security all the time. It's so critical. Okay. So there's that conditional access, then there's identity protection, there's security center, identity secure score, named locations, authentication methods, MFA, risky users, risky sign-ins. See, very very simple, few features here, nothing much here. So when we talk about conditional access, we already spent like a good 45 minutes on that in 2 classes ago, I guess. So if I click that conditional access here, there's that. Oh, okay, I'm in the wrong non-premium to Azure Active Directory. So I'm going to go for Office 365 Premium to Azure Active Directory. Security and conditional access. Yeah. So in the conditional access, new conditional access policies now apply to all client app types when not configured, including legacy authentication and Exchange Active Sync. So it just says that the scope has increased and it applies to all legacy and application authentications and Exchange Active Sync as well. Before it was not supported. So there's that new policy here. But I'm just gonna show you from outside that hey, we have already done that. So now Mohammad Awaz is saying that hey, come on, teach. Let's just get going and let's continue this later. It's too much for today. But so while others are watching, I think NBA is already finished. So I think we're back to Azure. So yeah, new policy here, but I'm just showing you that it's all. Oh, it's not finished. Hey, you said 19 seconds. Okay. So there's a new policy here. If I click the new policy, it pretty much shows you the same thing. Oh, okay. Okay. So OD1, OD2, overtime 2 now, OD3. I think that will also come. So next class. So there's a rebellion. There's a coup now. So 2 students are saying that okay, it's too much for today. Can we talk about security next class? Will ya? Come on, teach. Come on, just this once. Okay. So what's the verdict then? Verdict is 121 for 117. That's the verdict. Woohoo! Okay, guys. So enjoy your NBA match, and we can just yeah. There you go. What's the plan then? So there's that. Pushing going on as well. Come on, give us a break now. Okay, guys, so we'll talk about Active Directory security next class, and then we will start with virtual machine topic, and that's gonna be very interesting as well. So for now, this is it, and let's meet in next class. Yay! Or yay! All right, thank you. Whoa, that was a big thank you. Okay. All right, bye bye. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.